And we're live. Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, happy time zones wherever you might be. I'm Emma and welcome back to the House of Hubris here on twitch.tv/SarahSant. Now, when people have, when people have had issues with this stream in the past, and there are those of you who are out there, it's always about one thing. It's never about the budget, or the production values, or the hiatuses, or the fact that I keep falling asleep on camera. No, it's the words. It's just so many words, and I say most of them. And they're all just like, Emma, why can't you just enjoy a nice game where we get to watch you explode things and listen to the occasional AAA voice actor? Well, too bad! Welcome to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. We're reading a book. It's going to be great. Ominous music while I'm giving this intro is giving Vincent Price. Not intentional, but I'll take it. Yes, so welcome to The Life and Suffering of Sir Brante in the times of the fall of the Blessed Archenian Empire. You can tell it's modelled after, like, 18th century novels, because the title is very long. Actually, no, this is 19th century long title. This isn't 18th century long title, because we wouldn't be able to fit that on the screen. And if you don't believe me, go and look up Robinson Crusoe and look at the full title of that. It's literally a synopsis of Robinson Crusoe. Is this the one that I talked about with you, Emily? Yes, I do believe so. To be fair, I already knew about it previous to you messaging me about it. But yes, it is that one. I have seen a bit of this played by on another stream. It's got a lot of words. I remember it having really interesting world building. And honestly, I've forgotten most other things about it. So, you know. Always rather risk telling me about a game I already know than risk telling you, not telling me, and me never finding out. Absolutely, yeah. I'm always interested in recommendations because, you know, it's not like I have a backlog already, right? Right? But seriously, yes, thank you. Yeah, I remember this just being really cool. I wanted to dig into it some myself, and it seemed like a thing for the stream where I say words. As ever, we're starting a new game, so let me know if the sound balance is bad. Or, you know, suboptimal. And I'll see what I can do. Might not be able to do anything, but we'll see. And also, before we get started, thank you, Charities Lady, for yet another gift sub to Ludavi this time. Living up to your name once again. Thank you so much. Should we get going on this? Content warnings? I don't know. I think this gets pretty dark. I think there's war involved. And a whole lot of just institutional oppression, I believe. They're the things that spring to mind, but it's very possible I've forgotten something, because I don't know myself, so if that's an issue, I think there are content warnings online, but there will be somewhere. There's always people who put these together. Let's just click new game before I have to say anything else. Oh god, immediately just bam, the worst decision in the world, and one that I considered putting some thought into and then didn't. I need my character's name. Need a guy's name, something that fits this kind of milieu. Emilio, I don't know. I was kind of thinking Absalom. I don't know why. It's just a name I like. From the Latin for from Salom. Emma, why do you immediately, like, what? We're less than 10 minutes into this stream and you're already making jokes of that amazing caliber. You're leaving yourself nowhere to go. Okay. Chapter restarts, enabled, disabled. Oh, Emily Brante riff. Yeah, I totally didn't clock that, Emilio Brante. Ah, see, now I quite like that. Now I've become aware of the pun. I'm very on the ball, clearly. Chapter restarts. Unable to save, you'll be able to rewind to the beginning of any chapter you've completed and continue from that point, or disabled, Iron Man. You'll live the character's life from start to finish and endure all mistakes and misfortunes. Well, I'm not a coward. And consequences, open or hidden. You'll see the consequences of your possible choices in advance. This is the recommended game mode, as you'll be able to direct your character's fate in the way you want. As opposed to, you will not see the consequences. Well, I mean, I do enough hidden consequence decision-making in my day-to-day life. And it says this is the recommended game mode. And plus, this way, anything that happens is our fault. And by us, I mean, by our fault, I do include you, chat. It's your fault whether you want it or not. You all encourage me, so, you know. You'll make friends with the priest. Nice. Burn all witches. Wait, no. Are you suggesting our open consequences might have hidden consequences? The concept. The consequent. I'm going to click this button now. You hold the fate of a single man in your hands. That was a pretty good film. You will follow his life from birth to death. Your choices shall define who Sir Brante would grow up to be. You will decide his personality, social status, and what mark he'll leave on history. With every step he takes at your behest, Sir Brante's character will change and evolve. Your decision will close some doors for him, but open many others. The world of Sir Brante's birth is a ruthless realm where people are divided into estates. It's hard to be a hero here. Be ready to accept that Sir Brante cannot overcome every challenge in his path. Every hard choice will test his character and personal qualities. Often you will not be able to make the choice you'd like to. It may happen because you chose a different road earlier, exhausted your hero's willpower, or haven't earned the right position in society. Every victory will be a struggle, a path paved with bitter losses and gut-wrenching failures. Accept the tragedy. This is how you will create a gripping and unique tale for your hero. What will become of your Sir Brante, his loved ones, and his world? It all depends on you. Great! Not putting any pressure on us right from the get-go game. Ooh, cutscene.
The story of my life remains written on these pages. But my fate has always been my own. Every deed, every choice, every person I met made me what I am. Could I have taken a different path? Could I have found a different calling? Altered the very course of history? And what price would I have to pay?
The life and suffering of Sir Brante in times of the fall of the blessed Arachnean Empire. Don't know why we have that voice. That's what your announcer sounds like, apparently. Accept the tragedy. This is how you create a gripping and unique tale for your hero. Is just perfect TTRPG advice? Yeah. This is just true. Why does every TTRPG character have a tragic backstory? Because tragedy makes good story. And yeah, I'm not going to be trying to imitate what is apparently our character's voice, because I don't want to have to go this low all the time. That sounds like it would hurt after a while. Anyway, we start, as ever, at the end of time. Your fingers are stained with ink. Your breathing grows ragged, your hands are shaking. Yet the words begin appearing on the page before you, one by one, clinging together to form a chronicle of your own life. Who are you? And how did you reach this end? You were born, raised, and lived your entire life in the blessed Arachnean Empire. In this land, a man's destiny is predetermined at the moment of his birth. Whether human or Arachnean, nobleman, priest, or lowborn commoner, all bend to the divine will of the twin gods. Challenge accepted. And each life is naught but a single cog in the universe's immeasurable machine. I mean, that's just true. The memories come flooding back. They engulf you as a merciless wave, binding together days that are thrice dead and gone. The dreams of your childhood, your adolescence, your youth spent in the capital, years of peace teeming with life and a war drenched in blood. Spoilers much. High ranks and lowly deeds, opulent palaces, secretive city backstreets, fields of battle, and faces. So many faces of the people you held dear, the people who walked this road by your side. Such was your life, now all exposed by ink erupting onto the page. With your every step you sought to change the world as you saw fit. The choices of your upbringing, the path you carved in your youth, the fruits of your struggle, the consequences of your sacrifice. All of it led you here to the end of your time. And every choice had a price. Now, years and years later, the crossroads of your life echo in your memory, the pain and joy inextricably intermingled. High Ranks, Lowly Deeds is my favourite AC/DC album. I'm pretty sure it was the tagline for The Genius. Which is a, niche joke for those of you who, like me, are obsessed with weird Korean game shows. Sorry, just got entirely distracted by something irrelevant. You know how it is. This is how I started setting this stream up half an hour early and was still a few minutes late going live. Anyway, where were we? Next. Could you have taken a different path? Chosen a different calling? Found a different place in the world? You had the power to alter the very course of history. Now, on the verge of death, you struggle with doubt, seeking answers to the last and most crucial question of all. Your life. Of all the paths in life, why did you walk this one? Did you choose your own fate? Or was your life shaped by forces beyond your control? What determines a man's destiny? What can change the nature of a man? Haven't seen The Genius, but Korean game shows are great and terrifying. Oh, I'll probably text you about this later, Emily, but you should watch The Genius. You'd enjoy it because, as we've established, you're me. And I love it. So, what determines a man's destiny? The man himself, the world around him, a higher power, or there is no destiny? Made your own destiny, path was charted to you by the people, age, and society. Forged by a power greater than your own will, destiny does not exist! Human life is an exercise in chance, it is not governed by any laws! Alright, calm down, Sarge. I mean, I make that joke, but which one shows the greatest hubris? I mean, hubris would be the man himself. Just, I forge my destiny with my own two hands. But my time, the amount of time I've spent rabbit holing into existentialist literature makes me want to go with There Is No Destiny. Yeah, I just as a person, I'm not really big on the whole destiny thing. This is a life of randomness and purposeless action, and I find a certain amount of comfort in that. You stand tall and stare death in the face, unflinching, and apparently punch a table. There was no higher power guiding your life, it was just a wild jig, a chaotic tangle of innumerable human wills, actions, and accidents. The only thing that could ever turn this chaos into an orderly narrative is the eternal human drive for storytelling. Yep, this is a thing I've said to people pretty much verbatim enough times, that's weird. Your life had no greater meaning. You were neither cursed by fate nor guided by providence. And this is what made you truly free. But are you right about this? Is it all true? To learn the truth, you'll have to return to the very beginning, remembering every step you took along the way. On these pages, the story of a man named Emilio Brante will live once more. Now I've recognised the pun, it's a very good pun. Childhood, adolescence, youth, peacetime, the revolt. Something that you just know is spelt with a capital R. Chapter 1. Childhood. Back when we were chilled. Childhood. where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child learning about the world in which you were born. To you everything is so new, so baffling and so unforgiving. These last two lines I could just see getting used as a reaction image, just when people are being idiots on Twitter. Yeah, apparently it's the year 1118. Life begins at infancy, then progresses to childhood. Yeah, nah. That's a very fuzzy semantic distinction. A long, trying life stretches before you. So many feats and faults, so many fateful choices to come. Yet, you're already sowing the seeds of your future self. You're learning to live and survive in this world, looking for a place within it to call your own, choosing your future destiny. Who will you grow up to be? In chapters childhood, adolescence, and youth, you will live through your hero's coming of age. You'll shape the protagonist's personality, his qualities, and relationships. By the end of the prologue, you will determine the estate and future occupation of your hero. Only in adulthood will he start to influence the world around him and even the ultimate fate of the Empire. Who will Emilio Brante grow up to be? It's your call. This game! So much pressure immediately! The protagonist, good way to save code. I mean, yeah, it's literally just putting %name. So much pressure, like the Middle Ages. I think you'll find 1118 was more like the Dark Ages. Personal life. Events in the personal life of the hero that can happen in this chapter. The fencing lesson. Beyond insight, nobleman's sacrament. Ah, yes. I am remembering some of the systems from when I saw this before, yes. So these are kind of like mini achievements. They're things that can happen to you if you make the right conditions for them. So, study fencing like my father, so determination has to be at least 4 and train with him. Beyond, as a small child, you suffer your first death and rebirth. Let's maybe not try and die as a child. But we'll see. Insight, experience and insight. Perception at least 4, and play with ants. And the nobleman's sacrament. Challenge the sacred order and attempt to seize a noble lot. And turn his wife into a pillar of salt. Willpower above 0 and kiss the sword. Our own death and rebirth or someone else's? Well, it says you suffer your first death and rebirth. Like, suffer is... It's a first-person verb. Hubris? Yeah. You bet we're going to be succumbing to hubris in this game. Personal qualities. They determine which choices you may take. Determination and perception. We are spineless and inattentive. And if I had a penny for every time I've been told that... Inner strength and the number of lesser deaths you've experienced. These qualities will stay with you for life. Willpower 0, ready for action. And deaths untouched by death. Sections that open in this chapter, we have a destiny screen, personality screen, House of Brante, and family. Okay, well let's look at those first. Our destiny. This is just kind of showing us the things we can get. Our personality. Occupation, growing up. Currently, our occupation is to be a child. Lesser deaths, is that a euphemism? No. From what I remember, here we go. After suffering a lesser death, one is reborn. One who dies a true death faces the judgment of the twin gods. So, you get to die 3 times and then death counts. Which seems like a bit of just video game logic to make it less punishing, but from what I remember, there's surprisingly deep world-building reasons for it. The House of Brante have our reputation, our wealth, and our unity, so our honour is tarnished, we are of moderate means, and we are at peace. And the heir is Stefan Brante, Robert Brante's son from his first marriage and a noble by birth. From a young age, he's been striving to be first in all things and demonstrate his superiority to the family. I hate him. Hate him already. This feels like a Fallen London game. Well, stay tuned next month. Unity, how close and trusting our family is. Wealth, and reputation. Reputation. Makes sense. Our family. So, Gregor... Oh my god, everybody has profiles. There's so much stuff here. Gregor Brante, nobleman of the mantle, relations -1, head of the Brante family and a nobleman of the mantle. Whatever that means. A senior judge at the Anizot prefecture. He was the first person in the family to get an education and achieve a noble title. His dream is to see his family ennobled by the sword, whatever that means. A fierce defender of the ancient order, he's preoccupied with arranging the future of his family line. Amalia Elborn, noblewoman of the sword, true death, passed away soon after giving birth to Stefan, never to be reborn. Stefan's birth mother died while giving birth to him, a noblewoman of the sword, the sister of Augustine Elborn, a powerful family friend. The match between her and your father was your grandfather's doing. Amalia is said to have been a striking woman with a forceful personality, which is usually old-timey speak for not classically pretty. Who was proud of her noble origins. Our father, Robert Brante. We have better relations with him, nobleman of the mantle, judge at the Anizot prefecture. Following in the footsteps of his father Gregor, he earned a noble title and a position at the prefecture. He works tirelessly in his judicial service for the sake of his family. He took your low-born mother Lydia as his second wife, thereby jeopardizing the family's noble future. Like I say, institutional oppression, classism, yay! That's what this game's about. Our mother, Lydia Brante, lowborn, a humble commoner from the outskirts of Anizot. Neither her lowly origins nor the fact that your grandfather directly forbade the marriage stopped your father from taking her into his home. She now manages the household and raises Robert's children. Your mother is devoted to her faith and insists that her children observe their lots, whatever that currently means. Stefan, nobleman of the mantle. We already covered him. Us, that just links us back to our Us page, and Gloria. Our sister, also lowborn, the illegitimate daughter of my mother Lydia. She's never met her real father. Sounds like the protagonist's mum has something to prove. I mean, just from commoner married into a noble family, yeah. Her position in the family is precarious. Robert Brante has never acknowledged her as his own daughter. Because, I mean, legally, presumably she isn't. Your sister is a dreamer. She often has her head in the clouds and can act recklessly at times. Yeah, lowborn woman with a kid from a... I don't know if we know it's a previous relationship. I think such can be assumed. But yeah. See why a family of pretentious wealthy people rejected her. Classism! It's what this game's about. Anyway, should we begin the chapter? You know, this stream's been going for like half an hour. Let's maybe actually start. Yay, we got an achievement for being born. At first, there was nothing. No time, no sensation. Nothing but darkness and void. But then a will breathed life into nothingness. Matter and spirit were set in motion. History began its march. And then it's April. Damn it, that joke was completely killed by the fact that I briefly forgot what order the months came in. I was about to say June. It was your turn to enter this world. Your first memory, you are lying on your back, blinded by a bright white light. You're not alone. Above you tower the colossal figures of those who created you. You are a part of them, and they are a part of you. Between you and them is an inexplicable connection, a strong, unbreakable link. They will always watch over you, guard you, and protect you. It hurts to breathe. You let out the pain in the form of a desperate scream. Your creators extend their hands toward you. There are two of them, the ones who made your form from their own selves and brought you into this world. They're united, yet as they lean closer, you begin to see how different they are. You can already feel their differences within you, struggling against each other. This is all really interesting because it's your standard kind of birth imagery, but at the same time, like, it will tie into the whole twin gods thing that's been touched upon. The first figure is soft and emphatic. Is that the word you're going for there, or are you looking for empathetic? Anyway, wise and merciful. The love that emanates from it wraps you from head to toe like an invisible blanket. The warmth from it is never-ending. Second figure is strong and powerful, commanding and noble. It's harsh but fair, a beacon of guidance, a force of protection, and merciless punishment for every misdeed. Let's hear it for the gender binary! Yet, there is also a third figure. It's like a shadow barely seen behind them, yet already pulsing with an unbreakable will to live. It's the very will to live that is now growing ever stronger within you. A soft, open palm, a strong, closed fist, a lingering, distant shadow. You struggle to loosen the swaddling clothes wrapped around you and extend a tiny hand into the world. Harsh but fair and merciless punishment, yeah, those don't really go together, but hey. Reach out to the palm, get some perception. Reach out to the fist, get some determination. Smile at the shadow, get 10 willpower. I mean, if we want to kiss a sword, apparently we'll need willpower. Perception gets us closer to having an insight about ants. Determination gets us closer to being able to stab people. I think willpower's a good thing to have. If playing Vampire the Masquerade has taught me anything, it's that willpower's a good thing to have. Smile at the shadow. Your first smile appears on your face. Awkward, yet genuine. Your mother and father exchange looks and start talking. You know no words yet, so all you hear is a sequence of booming sounds. You know, Charlie Brown style. But the stranger behind them has no need for words. The stranger's look is all it takes for you to feel the will to live and act that now burns within you. And your parents say, womp, 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 womp. The shadow brings a finger to its lips as if to say, there, baby. Don't cry. This is our secret now. Which is a creepy thing to say. And then the shadow melts into the light. Willpower plus 10. We were born in the year 1118. Our life in the world began. We were apparently born from a great height. That looks like that's just a baby that's just been dropped through a hole. Never say that to a baby or a child. Correct. Well, that was a fun first year. Hide and seek. As the days go by, you learn to tell your parents apart. I mean, you say that. Wasn't like the first thing you said about them there, the dichotomy between them. You recognise father by his heavy breath and strong, cold hands. Weird. He visits you rarely. Hello there, little Emilio Brante. Mother's tender voice, however, follows you day and night. My, you're growing so quickly, my child. There are 2 more children in the family named Stefan and Gloria. Gloria sings songs to you. She often dresses you in tight clothing and gently holds your hands as you learn to take your first steps. Why does she dress us in tight clothing? That's a weird detail to put in there. Stefan likes to sweep you up and pinch you and toss you into the air. Oh look, this is your brother and sister. Yeah, you're my little brother. We're going to play together. But I'll always be in charge because you were born a commoner. Yep, I hate him. Be quiet, you. He doesn't understand yet. Come on, baby Emilio, let's go play in the yard. I have questions about how these children are interacting with a baby. I have questions about many things. It's hot outside. You grip your brother's hand with one hand and your sister's with another as they help you walk down the giant stone stairs. Then you sit on the ground and start exploring the sparse blades of grass with your fingers. It tickles. In the sky, far above and away from you, is a gigantic pillar, a perfectly straight stick made of light. It's so bright it hurts to look at it. Why are you staring at the shining pillar? It's not going anywhere, you know. Hey, I want to play hide and seek. He's just a little baby. How's he going to play? Then you hide him, and I'll try and find both of you. You have no idea what they're talking about, but you support them with happy cooing. This is strange, but so exciting. Stefan and Gloria glance at each other. Then your brother walks to a big tree, closes his eyes and starts shouting something. Gloria takes your hand and walks you through the yard. Your sister takes you behind some thick bushes by a tall wall. The light from that light stick on the horizon barely reaches here. You can't see home from this place. The ground is crawling with tiny black bugs. Gloria sits you down on the ground and puts a finger to her mouth for some reason. And then she's gone. You can no longer hear Stefan's voice. Gloria is nowhere to be seen. You feel colder. The bugs are no fun to play with. You've been sitting here for a long time, completely alone. Nobody checks on you. Did they forget about you? Did they abandon you? Hide the human incapable of defending itself, feeding itself, or managing its own bodily functions, and I'll find it, Stefan? No. Yeah, pretty much. So we can cry and get more willpower. We can find our own way home, or we can sit and wait. Do we want to be more determined or more perceptive? Let's be determined. Screw these children. I can find my way home myself. Get up off the ground and start crawling through the bushes. You get up on your feet, swaying a little bit. Carefully you take a first step, then lose your balance and plop down on the ground again. But you're determined. You get up again and keep walking in the direction Gloria went. This is how babies get eaten by dingoes? Well, that'll be exciting. And hey, then we'll have got the die achievement. You walk out of the bushes and further toward the wall of the house, and then the most tender and gentle hands in the whole world embrace you and pick you up. Mother has found you. There you are. You lean on Mother's chest and hold on to her with your arms. You want her to know that you came here all by yourself without any help. She pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria is in tears, Stefan is staring at his feet. You hug Mother tightly. She's here now. But hey, Noah's slightly more determined. Mum won variant hide and seek and she wasn't even playing. Exactly, she's so good at this game. And that was all that happened in our first year of life. I might turn those sound effects down just a touch. They feel loud to me. Another memory. You're still a little child, but you can already talk and run around on your own. Today is out of the ordinary. Father is busy around the house, giving orders to the servants. Throughout the day, the kitchen's been abuzz with work, and there are solemn, gloomy preparations and candles being lit. Even your older brother Stefan is quiet today. Mother takes your hand and brings you to your sister Gloria. Can't wait until she dies tragically from tuberculosis and feeds into our traumatic childhood memories. I mean, no guarantees, but it does seem like that kind of story. My son, today is the Great Descent. We honour the day when the twin gods descended to us. We must spend this day in reverence to the gods. You're too young to understand, so just do everything your sister says for now. Gloria takes you to the playroom. There are no toys there, no chairs, even the carpet's been taken away. The gods are real in this universe? Yep. Like I say, it's got that kind of world building that I really love, where the depth of it just kind of grows as you look more into it, and words turn out not to mean exactly what you thought, and metaphors turn out not to be metaphors, and yeah. What I think of as like baseball world building, or, although that's less focused obviously, or if any of you have played A Dark Room, which is free on the internet, and if you haven't played A Dark Room, you should, because it does really nice things with that. No spoilers there. Cursed brain won't think you want someone to just full-on cinema sins go after the world building in Greek and Roman mythologies. Don't give me ideas, Emily. You're gonna make me start a Patreon. Anyway, we're here in this bare room. Today we're not allowed to go to any other rooms, and we'll be eating nothing but gruel and stale bread. On the day of the Great Descent, everyone must be where they belong. Wait, are we the kid in Omelas? Is that what this is? It is quiet. Unusually so. Muffled voices from beyond the door are all you can hear. You're sitting on the cold floor, confused with no idea what to do. Then you hear your sister's voice, a lonely sound in the empty room. It's a little song that Mother taught her. You hold your breath as you listen to it. When the twins came down to earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let us count them, 1, 2, 3. The twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Priests work hard to understand, guide us by the twins' commands. Common people work and toil, always patient, never spoiled. There's a lot to unpack there. Live your lot where you were born, to the day when you pass on. Know your lot and know the prayer for the twins see everywhere. Yeah! Don't you just love your central political theses to be explained by a child singing a creepy song? Plato would have a blast. I mean, yeah, but I try not to listen to wrestlers. You're transfixed by the tune, because presumably in-world it was better than what I just did. Gloria notices your gaze and a smile creeps across her face. You like the rhyme, don't you, Emilio? Do you know what it's all about? Look, there are 3 lots. They were brought to us by the twins when they descended to us from the shining pillar. Remember that pillar of light on the horizon? That's it. You can see the shining pillar any time, from anywhere in the world. If you follow your lot as you live, you'll reach the peak of the pillar. And if you don't, you'll get eternal torment at the foot. Do you know what it's all about? No, I'm a toddler. Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure I've seen personal adverts promising eternal torment at the foot, but you know, that's a different kind of thing. You and I are lowborn. Mum's a commoner too, so the lot for you and me is to suffer and be patient and work hard. Understand? The priests and the nobles have other lots. The nobles fight and rule over everybody. The priests, well, I'm not really sure what they do, but I guess they talk to the twins and then teach everybody. You're supposed to be the one misbehaving? I'll misbehave on my own stream, thank you very much. Stretch and hydrate, good point. Ugh, slightly decompress my throat from voicing Gloria. Gloria stares at you intently. Do you get it, silly? Then she shakes her head and keeps singing the song over and over again. Her voice transfixes you, drawing you in. The room starts to glow like the sky. From this light emerge 2 figures you've known ever since the moment of your birth. One of them embraces your sister's shoulder, the other stands guard behind her back. You watch this happening before your very eyes, unable to turn away. You ever sing Pray hard enough that you just manifest deities around you? Gloria's swaying to the song, unaware of what's happening. She sings the final verses once more. Know your lot and know the prayer. You feel compelled by this divine sight to express yourself somehow. You feel words condensing within you from the light. But what will these words be? Eat, Pray, Love, the Twin Gods story. I feel like Eat, Pray, Love is what the 3 lots are. So do we want to do it right and become more perceptive? Or do it wrong and become more determined? Well, I think this is the kind of game, not the kind of game necessarily, but the kind of stream where we deliberately spike gods. That seems like a thing we would do. Know your lot and know the prayer. The lots of lies told everywhere! And yes, we do just bellow this in an adult man's voice. I am choosing to believe. Wow, surprisingly good political satire you've got there at 2. You shout these words, but you have no idea how they came to you. From me. That's me making you make bad decisions, small baby. The shining pair standing behind her back turn to look at you. You can feel their gaze piercing you from top to bottom. When the moment passes, they melt into the dim light coming from the window. Now Gloria's staring at you, you see disappointment in her eyes. In this game, I play Destiny. Wait. I play Destiny. But I always established as the first choice of the game that there is no Destiny. But then that must mean... Good joke, streamer. Look, if I didn't buy this stream deck so that it could just add unnecessary levels of polish to random bits, what did I buy it for? Anyway, we disappointed our sister. Emilio, that's not the way the song ends! Why did you ruin it? You shrug, quite pleased with your cleverness. Yeah, I am, thank you. And that was all that happened that year. Boom, it's 11/21. It's always 11/21 early. Why did I say early when I meant somewhere? Those are completely different words. See, I can make good jokes sometimes, and then I just forget how the English language works. I do the English language for a job. My job is writing things in the English language, and yet. 11/21, spring, the origin. You're starting to understand more and more of what the adults say. Your family is an unusual one. Your father is a nobleman, but not by birth. His is a title earned through great service. But your mother is a lowborn woman, a commoner. Because of this, you were born a commoner, but father says you may yet come unto nobility. I have another joke there. Let's move on. You learned to read at an early age. That is true. I did do that. Together with Mother, you read and learn by heart the many poems about the divine twins, the twin gods who reside upon the shining pillar. Mother calls these poems prayers. I mean, they probably are. But we are a small atheist child. Again and again, you try to discern the shapes of the gods in the strip of holy light that shines in the sky all day and night. But the light is too blinding to gaze upon. Just blinding light! 24 hours a day. I'm sure that's great for everyone's sleep schedules. The greatest joy of all is when the stairs are no longer an insurmountable obstacle. Now you can climb and even jump from step to step. Father urges you to be more careful and avoid climbing too high. But even though you keep falling, you never stop being curious about the world around you. Messed up the end of the clip, but thank you. I was quite proud of that. Avoid climbing too high. Excuse me. Your older brother Stefan now spends less and less time playing with Gloria and you. Playing with commoners is beneath a nobleman to be, he says. So Gloria calls him names, and Stefan pulls her pigtails. So regular siblings is what you're saying. One fine evening, Father gathers you all in the sitting room with an announcement. You'll have another little brother or sister soon. Gloria asks him to bring home a little sister. Another brother would be too much. Stefan gets frustrated. There are too many little siblings getting in his way as it is. Soon you'll have an older... soon you will be an older brother too. And it doesn't really matter who the youngest will be. A boy or a girl, you'll love them the most. When Father comes back from his trips, he reads his adult books aloud for you. You find these stories of wars, generals, and rebellions quite enchanting. And Father approves of your fascination. Study hard, and maybe one day you'll become a noble of the mantle and earn your sword. First, you need to grow up. Growing up? The concept is as terrifying as it is alluring. Truth. sounds of violence. You keep staring at the carpet under your feet. You're both... Oh, The Lot of Suffering is our title here. You're both ashamed and proud, and it feels odd. A scratch on your hand stings a little. Stefan is standing next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You wanted to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. You picked it up and hit him with it. Seems valid. You see Mother's shoes walking to and fro on the carpet. You do not want to look up. You'd rather not see her angry. She's not as gentle to you these days. Why did you hurt Stefan, Emilio? You stammer out an explanation. He hit you first. You just hit him back. How dare he pester me like that? When I grow up, I'm going to hit you with a real sword. And maybe I'll say the word sword without just biting my tongue in the middle of it like that. Mother shushes you both and speaks to you again. Her voice is stern, and yet you can still feel her concern for you. Even if Stefan hits you, you cannot hit him back. You are my son, and I was born a commoner. Our lot is to suffer. But your brother was born from a noble father and a noble mother. His sacrament is coming soon, and then he'll rule over the likes of us. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. That is your lot. And the sooner you learn it, the better off our entire family will be. Now Stefan looks at you in triumph. You look up at Mother in fear, not sure what to do now. So we can simply accept our punishment, which will cost us some willpower, but make our mother like us more, and also our brother like us more. We can deny guilt, and become determinated, or we can demand an explanation. But why, though? Ryan Reynolds, but why.gif. I think we should do that one. You start asking questions. Yes, also my autistic ass. Why were you born a commoner if your father's a noble? If you have your father's name, why can't you have his lot? And why can't you choose a lot for yourself if you don't like the one you have? Mother is stunned by all the questions you are peppering her with. Yep, that's my childhood. Don't you dare ask me about that, Emilio. I'll violate my lot if I start explaining it all to you. I'm a commoner, not a priest. Or Clarissa. You are flogged in front of your entire family. The pain burns on your skin again and again. Tears keep rolling down your cheeks. It feels like the punishment will never end. It hurts to walk when you're finally let go. You slowly climb the stairs and walk to your room. Worth it? Yeah. You see a book on your bed. Teachings of Isatius, Volume 2. Your tears have dried now. You begin to read, slowly making your way through the difficult words. Every death of the body bringeth the soul ever closer to the twin's judgment. And when the body dieth a true death, the soul soareth to the shining pillar. The twin gods do judge every soul, and their judgment is stern and unforgiving. He who followeth his lot in life from birth shall melt in bliss atop the peak of the shining pillar. I have another joke, let's move on. The words confuse and elude you, instilling fear and awe. That's the idea of religious literature. You'll read this mysterious book again and again as you grow up. We are still inattentive, but slightly less so. Melt in bliss, yeah. Mother mostly stays in her chambers now. Oh, glorious rhymes. I keep forgetting that there are titles there. With each passing day, she grows heavier and her features get rounder. And game? Don't start doing a fat phobia on me. Desperate to know the tenets of this religion? Oh, you will. We'll get into that. I'm pretty definite. I seem to remember there being a decent amount of just kind of delving into... It gets difficult for her to pregnancy sweat. Oh, yeah. She's pregnant. I completely forgot about that whole entire story thing that we had a thing about. Cool, let's move on. I'm very intelligent. It gets difficult for her to walk, but she still smiles all the time. One day she takes your hands and puts them on her big belly, and you feel a movement deep inside her. Okay, that would have explained it further. And, yeah. You'll have another brother or sister soon. Because, you know, this feels like a society that would entirely enforce, like, the cis-het gender binary. Do not like that description of letting a kid feel the baby moving? Yeah, very visceral way of saying it. Gloria takes you on walks to the yard now. You explore the yard together under the evening light of the pillar, and she sings you songs and tells you amazing stories. Hey, Emilio, do you want to hear a rhyme? I wrote it myself, there's even a bit about you. But don't tell anyone, okay? Writing poems and songs is only for nobles. If Mummy hears about it, I'll get flogged. Remember how you got flogged for hitting Stefan? Our judge is my second father. In the past, I had another. Mother says the twins are great. Says we should not fight our fate. Brother loves to jump around. Please don't fall down on the ground. See, I wrote a little rhyme. Please don't tell them it's mine. I have thoughts. But you are a small child, so fair. But today your sister's nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the... Within the word of the story, this is kind of precious. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, I'm riffing, but in all seriousness, yeah. Today your sister's nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the old pond and show you the red frogs that live there. Then she vanished. The servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers when she hears the commotion. Finally, you find Gloria in the far corner of the garden. She's holding a quill and sheets of paper covered in poetry. Press F to worry. Yep. Not allowed to write poems, so she has no practice. Well, if it were me, I would just write better poems to start with. Skill issue, question mark? Mother becomes angry the moment she sees it. She looks through the poetry and her face grows dark with rage. Gloria is standing before her, wringing her hands and looking for an opportunity to run. But there seems to be no escape. What is this nonsense, Gloria? We talked about this. You were told to take care of your little brother. You are absolutely not allowed to entertain yourself with this writing. I can decide that for myself, Mum. Han, you're like 7? No, you cannot. It has already been decided by the gods. And he's not little brother anymore. He doesn't need a nanny. And I need some time alone to think for myself. I'm not hurting anyone. You are a commoner and a future wife. It's time you learned how to properly care for children. Had your disgraceful former father kept me in his house, you could have been born a noble. But that is not our fate, and you are absolutely forbidden from ever spoiling paper and wasting ink again. Mother grabs Gloria firmly by your hand and takes you both into the house. The scribbled sheets fly into the fireplace. Gloria sobs violently. You're a bystander to this scene, unsure of how to act. So we can complain about her to become more determined. Much as I'm getting the determination stuff, wow, no. I know you're about to physically abuse my sister, but have you considered how you should do it more? No, don't do that. We could comfort our sister. Costs us some willpower, but makes Gloria like us more. Or we could leave. Save our willpower for later. Yes, all the things that give you more willpower are just the kind of going with the grain options. And we can't offer to write rhymes with her because we are not perceptive enough. I think we should comfort her. All y'all in chat are rooting for Gloria, so I think we should too. Mother leaves. The last of your sister's poetry burns away in the fireplace. You walk up to your crying sister and take her by the hand. None of this is her fault, you say. What Mother did is wrong and far too harsh. Gloria sniffles before speaking. But I did leave you all alone. And you're not mad at me? Really? You nod in reassurance. Gloria embraces you. I mean, I too appreciate the drive to write a poem when you should be doing other things. The amount of time I've spent that should perhaps has been spent doing other things doing creative endeavours that add nothing physical to the world. Big mood. Oh, wow, has that been an hour already? Well, Twitch is telling me I should be doing my advert break. So, hold tight. We will return to more of probably Gloria being precious and the world being deeply messed up in about 3 minutes. I need to, stand up and stretch and run some ads, do a capitalism, and you all should do the self-care things too. Have a drink, have a snack, take your meds if you haven't. This is your reminder. Give somebody a hug, because, that's nice. Not if they don't want it, don't be weird. And yeah, let the ads run, and I will be back in about 3 minutes. Love you all. See you in a few. And we're back. Hello everyone, welcome back to a society in which your ability to spend time creating art is determined entirely by your social class, and unrelated to the country I live in. Welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. One day I'll work out which way they want me to pronounce that, and then I'll continue to change it. Emilio, you're the best little brother in the world. The two of you make a little deal. She promises to tell you when she wants to be alone, and you promise to protect her and her secrets, always. These are both good things. Gloria, you can stay. Our relations are better. Her status is grateful. Gloria remembers what you did for her. Square brackets, Gloria will remember that. But our willpower has dropped. We spend it on difficult choices. Also, Emily, if you are still here at all, before you go, have good meetings. I think you posted that while we were on break, so. 11:22, winter. The coming sacrament. I have another joke, let's move on. Mother is in her armchair, knitting woolen jackets, pants, and socks for the little one. Baby will need to... blah, 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 blah. And then she said that, and you were wondering if she was having an episode. But then she continued. The baby will need to be kept warm, she says. Father spends less time at home now. Mother says he's very busy with his important job. He's a judge, after all. One day you decide to ask Mother about Stefan and Gloria. How come they're brother and sister to you, but not siblings to each other? Because you, my child, stand with a foot in two worlds. Well, my dear, I didn't give birth to Stefan, you see. He's the son of another mother, and Gloria is the daughter of another father. Come now, don't knit your brow like that. You'll understand when you're older. The thing all children love to hear. How is that even possible? You're all family, are you not? Several days later, Mother calls Stefan and Gloria to the sitting room. You sneak in after them. At first, Mother gets angry and asks you to leave, but then she relents. You're told to sit still, be quiet, and remember every word you hear. Like a spy? When you enter the temple, bow to the twins, first to the elder on the right, then to the younger on the left. Stefan, you're a nobleman to be, so walk along the side paved with marble, where the benches are. Gloria, you walk along the sharp side. When you're there, you must get down on your knees, each on your own side. Stefan, kiss the sword. Gloria, my daughter, they will strike you with the lash. Don't be afraid of it. Resign yourself to the suffering it brings. It is the blessing of your lot. Gloria doesn't like the idea of the lash. I mean, most people don't outside of certain circumstances. There's a tense feeling in your chest as well. You were told to remember this. Will the lash strike you too one day? On the next day, they take your brother and sister to the temple. You run towards them when they finally come back. The back of Gloria's dress is soaked with blood. She's hunched a bit, sobbing quietly. Stefan is putting on airs, acting prouder than ever. Nothing else looks different about them. It's like all is the same, and yet everything has changed. Each of them has accepted their lot. We did nothing, and Stefan likes us less. And we are less unified. Brother and sister sacrament. Stefan and Gloria took their first sacrament at the temple. The newborns cry. That's what it sounded like. You eye the little bundle in your father's arms with curiosity. Behind the many layers of swaddling clothes is your newborn baby brother. Mother is glowing and smiling with joy. Stefan and Gloria are also here, all excited. You promise yourself you're going to be the best big brother in the world. You'll never hit him, oh no, the two of you will play together, and tease Stefan together, and help Mother together, and go on so many adventures together. It feels so strange to be an older brother. Just the other day, you were the youngest in the family, but everything's different now. Your parents name your little brother Nathan, and Mother spends day and night by his side. And Nathan cries all the time, day and night. Mother barely gets any sleep. She's so worn out she starts forgetting things. Like today, for instance, she forgot her knitting in the armchair in the sitting room. Better bring it back to her as soon as possible. You run to Mother's bedroom. You miss her smile so much. You walk in without saying hello and give her the knitting. But instead of gratitude, you get an ice-cold, exhausted stare. Nathan is also there, screaming all the time. Go away, Emilio, you're bothering me. She spits these words out through her teeth. You look at the bawling newborn. She can't even get a minute of respite. Enough already. When are you going to stop? I just want some peace and quiet. I feel like we're going into unpleasant postpartum territory. Apologies. Like I say, there will be lots of kind of warnable content in this game, I think, but I don't know all of it, having not played it or experienced that much of it myself, so apologies. Mother leaps across the room and starts shaking Nathan with malice in her eyes. Nope, 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 nope. His cries get even louder. She looks so tired from his never-ending screams. She seems to be within an inch of smashing him against the wall. No, thank you. Somebody has to do something. You're scared of your mother right now, but you fear for Nathan's life much more. Shout for her father, become more perceptive. Redirect her anger to yourself. Or take, baby. I mean... But we are not good enough friends with our mother to give her a hug. Boo. Yeah. I feel like snatching Nathan isn't gonna work, because we are a small child, and she is a large adult woman. Do we pick the one that gives us some more determination? Because also, snatching the baby would lose us what willpower we have remaining. Yeah, this is gonna hurt. Mother keeps shaking Nathan violently, and you cannot stay away any longer. He's no longer bawling, he is shrieking. Just leave me alone! But then out comes your voice, so loud it drowns out their cries. No, it's not Nathan's fault, Mother! You're just tired. Please don't do anything to my little brother. If you have to punish somebody, punish me instead. He's too young, he won't understand. Your mother freezes, looks at you, her eyes two narrow slits. Her stare is cold and full of pure wrath. So pure you cannot help but recoil in fear. Are you trying to teach me how to take care of a child? Are you giving me lessons on calming a newborn baby? You're an insolent, insipid, nagging, know-it-all. It's time you learned your place. She puts Nathan on the bedsheets, then moves towards you. You step back, but a closed door blocks your way. She slaps you across your face. Your ears ring from the heavy blow, and your cheek burns from her wrath. You wince and close your eyes, expecting a second slap. But nothing comes. Nothing but Mother's heavy breath and Nathan's shrill cries. Then there is a knock at the door. You step aside. Father walks in. He looks at you, clutching a reddened cheek, at the bawling baby, at Mother, her eyes red with rage and tears, her breath heavy and ragged. Go to your room, son. I'll join you soon. You do as you're told. Back in your room, you press your aching cheek against the cold window, hurt and dazed by what just happened. Soon enough, Nathan stops crying. You hear Father's heavy footsteps in the hallway. He comes into your room and sits on the bed next to you.
Son, please do not be angry with your mother. The twins know she wished nobody any harm. This is a difficult time for her, but we'll make it through it as a family. You stepped up to protect your brother. You acted like a little nobleman today. I'm proud of you. Your mother and Nathan are resting now. How bad does it hurt?
You shake your head. Not bad, but your hand still aches to clutch the cheek. Father embraces you with a sorrowful smile and gingerly pats you on the head as you press your forehead into his housecoat. Things grow calm now. The trouble has passed, and you are quietly happy. Well, that was heavy, Jesus. Your younger brother Nathan is born and immediately causes problems. No shade to the baby, the problems were already there. Anyway, next year... You wake up to Father's touch on your shoulder. I suppose it's in the title of the game. Yeah, this was kind of my point going in. It's just, you're playing a game with suffering in the title. You wake up to Father's touch on your shoulder. He's finally back home after a long trip.
Emilio, today is your special day, the day when you begin your studies. Now, teachers will be coming to our home to teach you, and you must do everything they say. Be diligent in your studies, and you will grow closer to the nobleman's lot. And since you must remember this day, a present is in order. Lydia, get our little schoolboy dressed. I am taking him to the market district.
Stefan wants to come with you too, but Father shushes him sternly. This is your day. Your elder brother is hurt to hear this, but stays quiet. An open carriage takes the two of you through the dusty, noisy city streets, pleasant wind tussling your hair. Time for some external world building. Your city's called Anizot. That you already know. It's one of the largest cities in the entire empire. There's a big shadow on the street. It comes from the white foliage of an enormous tree that spreads its branches all above the city. We're in Gondor.
My son, did you know that the silver tree grew from the blood of our god's own disciples? It's been growing here for hundreds of years, right in our city. Cannot be damaged or burned. Not even the clergy know why.
I mean, surely you already answered yourself there. Surely the clergy should know why, in that it's because it was grown from the blood of God's own disciples. The carriage comes to a halt by a small shop next to a city square. You run there and freeze by the stalls in excitement. The shop's packed with dolls and figurines and toys. You've never seen so many at once before.
Have you chosen your present yet?
Father asks. You have. You want the Holy Order set, which includes several figurines of the Empire's greatest warriors of all time. As announced by, I don't know, somebody on SmackDown. You rattle off everything you know about the Holy Order. They were the ones who aided the Emperor's own forces in seizing the province of Magra and storming our city. That's how we joined the Empire. Info dump. Father nods in approval.
Very well. War isn't your lot for now, but maybe these toy soldiers will teach you to think like a general. We'll lead them into battle and study military strategy. Go ahead, take your present.
Having said this, Father turns away to examine the books. You run to the box of toy soldiers, delirious with excitement. But there's a fancy-dressed boy in your way. He's about to take your warriors for himself. He elbows you aside and reaches for the box. Anger overcomes you and you push him from behind. Your opponent falls to the floor. The rich boy screams so loudly everybody in the shop hears it. He hit me! He hit me! A tall tower of a man looms over you. This is the boy's father. But then you feel your own father's hands on your shoulders.
What happened?
You press against Father, your mind more at ease now. He'll protect you. Pressing X to doubt. Yes, you shoved the boy to the floor in front of everyone, but he tried to take your present for himself. Father turns you around to face him when he hears these words.
Is this true, Emilio? Did you strike the son of a nobleman?
Deny guilt. Tell the truth. Admit guilt. Admit guilt makes our father like us, but takes all our willpower. telling him the truth, determination, denying guilt, and just kind of withdrawing gives us willpower. I mean, we wanted 4 determination so that we could learn to stab. I think we should do that. Rage against the machine. It isn't fair to blame you without letting you speak too. You didn't want to shove that stupid boy. He was the one who shoved you first. But the angry nobleman, the boy's father, would not let you finish. Nobody cares a whit for your so-called truth, little lowborn. The law's the law, and your punishment is due. Your father nods in agreement to these words, no matter how sad they may make him. They lead you and the nobleman's son out of the shop. You are told to bow to him and show humility. A bad feeling sends a shiver down your spine. With a satisfied grin on his face, the boy swings his arm and slaps you on the cheek. Strikes you again and again.
Enough! He got what he deserved. We're leaving. Get out of our way.
Your head is swimming from the heavy blows. You return to your senses back in your bed with servants treating your face. Father stays by your side all day. The morning after, you find a little box in your bed with the tin soldiers of the Holy Order inside. You pay dearly for your stubbornness. I mean, if that isn't a mood. But hey, we got our determination up to 4. We are now resolute. Which I now can only say in the cadence of, again, extremely specific reference, but the start of... Is it the Decision Tree? One of the tracks off Into the Electric Castle by Arion, the opening monologue, has Be Resolute in it, and yeah, that's all that word says to me now. Anyway, we've got a thing, Father's Sword, consequence of our previous actions. Well, 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 if it isn't. Father's Sword. When Father's not working long hours, you often see him spending long stretches of time in the backyard, practicing his fencing. You're allowed to watch, but that's it. You're forbidden from touching the sword, let alone actually learning how to fight with it. It's a new day today, and Father has been busy in his study since early morning. Mother took Gloria and Nathan to the shops. Your studies are done for today. The house is empty. You spot Father's sword hanging by the yard door. He must have left it there by accident after a training session. You deliberate at first, then grab the sword with resolve and run outside. At last you have a chance to see it up close. This is going to end badly. It's a small sword used for dueling, heavy and devoid of any ornamentation. You recall that it was made specifically for him. The weapon is difficult to handle. Its heft makes the palm of your hand shake. As you get used to it, you try your best to imitate Father's feints. Your technique leaves much to be desired, but at least it's something. You imagine yourself fighting for the family's honour as the thin blade slices through the air. But you swing too far back, the blade nicks your shoulder and cuts through your shirt, staining the fabric crimson. The sword falls to the ground with a dull clang. You try to apply pressure to the wound to make it stop bleeding, but all you do is make the blood flap. But all you do is make the blood flow faster. That's surprisingly hard to say. There's too many labial consonants there.
Emilio, what are you doing here?
The familiar voice hurts you more than the cut of the sword. Father walks up to you briskly. His rugged arms rip off a length of cloth and bandage your shoulder. He squats by your side and pulls you into an awkward embrace.
My son, why did you have to take the sword? You know you're not supposed to hold it. This is no toy, it's a weapon that can take lives. I know how you feel. I used to yearn for my father's dueling sword back when I was a lad. One day you might have a chance to earn the right to carry a weapon, but first you must have patience and study and become a noble. When that day comes, I will be proud to teach you myself.
You rarely spend time with Father without someone else around. There's paternal love in his voice, so much that even the cut on your shoulder barely hurts now. You would be glad to be convinced by what he says. But how can you forget your dream? How can you abandon it just to earn Father's approval? Is it right for him to ask so much of you? So we can agree with him. No touchy sword, he likes us, more willpower. Or Master all our courage, beg father to teach how hold sword. We get our destiny for the fencing lesson, we lose so much willpower that, I mean, we're going to need if we're going to kiss the sword later on. I'm sure there will be ways to get willpower back that will have no negative consequences whatsoever, right? I want the accomplishment. Father's inquisitive look presses you for an answer. It takes you a long time to muster enough courage to speak. You beg him to teach you how to fight, at least the very basics. It'll certainly come in handy in your future. It'll be your first step towards becoming a nobleman. Now it takes father a long time to respond. He's about to speak and you expect a refusal, but he says nothing. He draws a sharp breath again, but remains quiet. Then, finally, he offers you the sword.
Remember this, Emilio. You're not a warrior. Not yet. You'll study this like you study your lessons.
He teaches you the first lesson right away. You learn to dodge attacks. There are several times when the tip of the blade cuts the air dangerously close to your nose. It's scary and difficult, but you manage it. We are now on -5 willpower, exhausted. Resolute yet exhausted. Wow, there's a mood. From that day forth, father teaches you the foundations of sword fighting in great secrecy. You use your passion for tree climbing to explain the cuts you received during training. Yes, the tree cut me with a knife. Soon you learn how to hold your own in a duel, but will you ever need this art in real life? Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Why would we need to know how to duel? Sure, that won't come up. Event has happened. I don't know why I find that so funny. Just, event has happened. God, that honestly just feels like a lot of my mental illnesses is just periodically at random points I have a Kill Bill siren going off and a notification that says, event has happened, no more details. We did a thing. And now it is 11:24. We are 6. Now we are 6 to do the reference. Summer, the family dinner. Today, father ordered the dinner table to be brought out into the yard. For the first time in months, he's home, outside of the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day playing with Nathan and you, discussing various matters with Stefan, now an adolescent, and walking in the garden. And now a dinner under the open sky. Your entire family gathers together with father at the head of the table, smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knee and recites a counting rhyme in a funny sing-song voice. Stefan mentions that his fencing teacher praised his accomplishments. He rises from the table together with his father to show his skill and practice duel. I sit there going, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on her chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Mother showers your sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile on his moustache. When your turn comes, you recite all the ranks in the Legion, from common soldier to high commander. Stefan listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. Oh no, list learning, they really are me. Nah, that's a joke about quizzes in general, not me in specific. List learning is not how my brain do. Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in the dust tonight. It feels good, yet so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fighting, just smiles. No arguing, just pleasant small talk. Then a servant approaches father with a letter in his hand. He reads it in the dim light, and each line gradually washes the smile off father's face until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at father with an unspoken question in her eyes.
Gregor Brante is coming back to Anazot. He's the head of a family. My father.
Grandfather's return. Your grandfather Gregor Brante returned to the family home from the capital, and he looks exactly like our father, just older and facing a different way. I think I got confused between way and direction there. Ever since the news of grandfather's impending arrival, there's not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. Why is that flashing at me? Oh, because I got the fencing lesson. Okay. Oh, and it also has a timeline of everything. That's neat. Sorry. Your parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she'll be flogged if she's ever seen hiding in the attic. Yeah, but that's why you're hiding, so you're not seen. God, guys, get it together. They make Stefan stay in his room. Even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone's on edge. Then one day grandfather arrives. It's a grim day, so hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, mother, Stefan, Gloria, you and Nathan. The entire Brante family stands on the porch in front of the house. The house servants lined up behind you. The carriage arrives and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively.
Good health to you, father. Children, greet your grandfather as you've been taught.
Still trying to look like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Brante family to be ennobled by the mantle, and I'm the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly.
I live honourably by my lot.
Your marriage to that lowborn wench cut us off from ever becoming nobles of the sword. My progeny could have been born bearing noble blood.
Maybe alter that voice, because that is right in the place where I don't need it to be.
Father, I beg you, this is not the place.
Grandfather eyes him with scorn and walks into the house. The entire family follows close behind him.
I have been away far too long. The entire house is a mess. This is an insult. How can you live in such a pigsty, Robert? The servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to your commoner of a wife. I warned you, did I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of tradition or honour?
They are being raised in a virtuous family, father.
And now you're speaking like a lowborn who's content to live in humility. Twins willing, now that I'm here, this will not happen again. I'm taking your oldest son to the capital. I see you cannot provide Stefan with a proper education, so I will correct your mistake.
Your brother's fate has been decided, just like that. Father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stefan for the journey. Stefan freezes in place, glancing at grandfather and father again and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are a tight line, white with contempt. The house is examined, room after room. Everything grandfather sees is showered with scorn. He scoffs at a crease on a blanket in Nathan's crib in mother's bedroom. He mocks Gloria's knitting in her room. Daughter, your room's next.
What's this, Robert? Tin soldiers in your younger son's room? He was born a commoner, I won't have him daydreaming of battle.
Grandfather seizes the box containing the tin warriors of the Holy Order. Your father stays silent. Anger and fear boil within you. This is your big present from the first day of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove you're right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. If you wait too long, they'll melt in the flames. So we can't just watch them melt because we aren't perceptive enough. Rescue them, which will make us even more determined and give us a better relationship with our grandfather. We can cry, which will lower our willpower and also make him like, okay, it's less. Or we can kick grandfather in the leg, which will increase our determination, perception, and number of deaths. This is a route I do remember seeing when I saw other people do this. You can kick your grandfather in the leg, in response to which he will beat you to death with his walking stick. Yeah, that's a whole thing. It's that kind of a game. But hey, he's a nobleman, so he's allowed to do that. But hey, we're allowed to rescue our tomb warriors. That will make us more determined and earn his respect, so I think we should, because we're a badass. You run to the fire and take the box out. The wood's hot to the touch and the edges are burned. Pain comes slowly. Horrible burns appear on your hands a few moments later. Mother gasps loudly. I do like the way the pages are affected by things happening in the story. It's a very nice touch, just like the charring at the edges here and blood when we get hit and stuff like that. Then suddenly a heavy blow strikes you on the back. You turn around to see Grandfather towering over you, his walking stick in hand. You stare back at him defiantly.
How dare you defy me, whelp? You're nobody!
Furious, Grandfather wrenches the toy box out of your hands and leaves the room. Father follows him immediately, yet he sneaks in a hidden smile for you before he's gone. So that increased our relations with him. So he will hit the child, but also he will respect the child slightly more for earning the hit, I guess. We are even more resolute. $11.24, fall. The master of the house. Quick to catch your eye. Never want. Anyway, let's move on. Soon, Grandfather leaves. Your elder brother Stefan goes with him. From that day on, Father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life in the Blessed Archaean Empire. The sharp-eyed among you will notice that I said I was going to change Gregor's voice, and I didn't really, and consequences. You often distract yourself from their instruction by playing with your younger brother, Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your older brother. Too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he's now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman.
The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers. We're learning how to live as nobles in a noble society. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favourite part.
With Stefan now at the boarding school, Grandfather arrives once more, this time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the Empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask Mother where he lived before.
In Eterna, she says, but now his place is here.
Each time Grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating Grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes Father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same.
This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of the nobility.
Some days Grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of his sight. But there's no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She's been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before.
Robert, it is high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments.
Oh no, we need more willpower before this happens.
Sir Brante, please, let him live free of the lot for a while longer. They are but...
Shut your mouth. Robert, that wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It's time you considered a real marriage, Robert. One to a woman of the proper station.
Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down Mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hands clenched into fists.
Baroness Lodar is one such woman. She's a comely widow and a fine match. She's suing for her inheritance right now and could use proper support and a husband. You can keep your lowborn Lydia around if you like, servant, mistress, I don't care. I will not do that, Father. I'm the head of this family, and the family's standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It's unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of beautiful Amalia Elborn, this lowly woman, and that bastard child of hers? And now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me.
Father nods curtly, trying not to look in Mother's direction.
Father, I wish to see Stefan.
If I find your conduct in the Baroness's presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She's coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared.
Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it onto his plate and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word. Then Father stands up and orders you and the other children back to your rooms. He needs to speak to Mother in private. Over breakfast, my dude! Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease on the woolen blanket. He distanced himself from you after Stefan's departure, so you're not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There's a sour expression on it.
My son, Baroness Emma Lodar, will be visiting us tomorrow.
Oh, hey, it's me.
Please be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down.
On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She's been crying for a long time. It hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets, your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristically contented look about him. Anybody else hate this man? I hate this man. You hear the sound of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard. Then a pair of dainty heels come clacking at my chamber door. The antechamber is completely quiet and still, fearing Grandfather's observant eye. The door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful, dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady Lodar and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Yep, loathe this man, yep. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Yeah, see, I told you it's me.
Baroness, allow me to introduce you Robert's sons, Emilio and Nathan Brante. Frankly, it's his eldest, Stefan, who deserves the most attention, but currently is studying in Eterna with other young noblemen like himself. It's my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day.
Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her here next to your mother, your father's rightful wife? Right, so we can't demand that Mother be introduced, which would need me to be more perceptive or for Father to like me more. We can't maintain our composure because we don't have enough willpower. So we can walk away. Makes us more perceptive. Father and Grandfather hate us. Mother likes us. We impugn our family's reputation. Or we gain reputation, lose unity, and I want that personal stat. You turn your back on the Baroness and walk to Mother. You walk upstairs to her room, hand in hand. Behind your back, stunned silence reigns in the antechamber. Soon the two of you are alone. A burden falls from Mother's shoulders. She embraces you. Together you wait until the dinner ends and the Baroness leaves. Well, this is going to end poorly.
You didn't betray me. If only you could feel how grateful I am right now.
The morning after, Father leaves for Eterna with Grandfather to visit Stefan. He returns from the capital in quiet rage. You overhear your parents talking. Apparently Grandfather has already poisoned Stefan's mind against him, and he greeted Father with cold hostility. The name of Baroness Lodar is never mentioned in the house again. Relations dropped with Father, relations increased with Mother, and are very bad with Grandfather. But then, we hate this man, so. And our reputation is tarnished! Rise, tarnished. But we're curious, so that's nice. I have often been described as curious. Now it's 11:25. The kaleidoscope. I feel like I should be creeping down a hallway to this. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Once he becomes so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stefan had been the one to stay home instead of you. You never expected to hear these words from your father, of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. It feels lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your room, you now busy yourself with reading and calculations in the sitting room across from the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She's already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now she seems preoccupied with a strange tube. Aren't you hurt by the way Grandfather treats you, you ask? Gloria just shrugs.
Grandfather always says they should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're close to him. I just have to stay out of his way, that's it.
She shows you the strange tube she's been holding all day.
Look, it's a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside?
Excited by the idea, you close the book and peer into the tiny hole on one end of the tube. Your eyes sees a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colours. They mesmerise you. The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace into a cavalry made of flames. You're riding at the front of the fiery horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines, and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive, and calm, peaceful. Just like Father's smile before Grandfather's invasion. See, we're just Rorschaching on this now, just like, here are some abstract patterns, allow us to project onto them. Yes, thank you for the stretch reminder. I haven't done that enough. Oof, yep. That's a whole bunch of fun spine noises. The deep blue gives way to a scattering of gold, radiating gentle warmth, like Mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives way to a hypnotic new pattern. Again and again you see your family in these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. And in the middle of this golden glow, you see Gloria's green eyes gazing at you observantly. How many G's are there in that sentence? Golden glow, you see Gloria's green eyes gazing at you. Like, come on. It's possible to alliterate too much. Especially when one is, reading this book out loud for 3 hours. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked. But you're still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again, but you cannot preserve it, no matter how you try. You're caught in an inner conflict. There's so much that can be done with this kaleidoscope. Should you take it apart or ask Gloria how it works? Keep enjoying the patterns it shows you. But you still have lessons to do today. Well, we have the illusion of choice. So we don't have enough willpower to take it apart, which would break it anyway. We don't have enough willpower to return to our studies. Kaleidoscope! This stream brought to you by Courtney Act, and the theme for it was Sydney Pride, I don't know what year. It's a good tune. You continue peering into the ever-changing patterns the kaleidoscope offers you. Choice of only one option, the best for indecisive people. Yeah, love those. Actually, no, who am I kidding? My brain is the kind that will look at a choice with only one option and go, yes, this is the only possible thing to do here. I still don't like it and I'm not going to do it. couldn't tell if I had a haircut in my glasses or just a weird reflection. I think it was the latter. It's just it. Optics. They become truly interesting when you pointed at the shining pillar gleaming in the sky and glimpse the face of God. In your mind's eye, one battle follows another, filling your ears with clanging steel and the neighing of horses. You're leading the Imperial Army now. Everybody's so proud of you. Grandfather says you're better than Stefan, and Father's stern voice cuts your daydream short. You lost all track of time. It's evening now.
How did you get your hands on this toy, Emilio? Why aren't you studying? Give it to me. You'll have double the lessons tomorrow.
But we got so much willpower back from it. Grandfather's visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He's become something you're used to, something nagging yet not unordinary, like a splinter or a stain on your trousers, a comparison which I'm sure he'd love. The tension still remains, however, so Gregor's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable it almost stings for real. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. You're walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria, peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her lightly on the shoulder. She's startled.
Oh, it's you, Emilio. Look, Sir Gregor's eating something.
Grandfather is sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl you see candied fruit. A sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate, like all sweet things. Yet Grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he keeps consuming the high-born treats. You ever get that? You ever just eat a massive thing of sweets and yet derive no pleasure from it because you're used to it? Or do I just have depression? Trick question, it's both. The clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on a shelf and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl when you look at her. First emotion you feel is fear. But next comes curiosity, and it's stronger. Stefan used to boast that candied fruit tastes incredible, and now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. You try a candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it on your tongue. It's so sweet. You've never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes the fruit and brings it to her mouth, carefully like a rare treasure. There's a thumping on the stairs, footsteps accompanied by the knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea why, but Grandfather's back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you, but she's frozen in place with the bowl in her hands. The door opens. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm. Again, this feels like it's going to go very badly.
You squalid, ungrateful, low-born child. How dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your trollop of a mother would be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noble estate, not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot?
His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you're hidden. Her fingers glisten with the warm, melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready. Then he sees you, huddling behind the armchair.
Please don't hurt him, Sir Brante. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me.
You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. This is only the beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed, unlike you. You can still avoid your punishment.
Why is it then, milksop? Do you try the sugar too, or are you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says?
Okay, we can spend all our willpower telling the truth, which will give us more perception and also make him like us more. Standing up for ourselves is good for our relationship with our weird, abusive grandfather. We can lie, which will make Gloria like us less, but it will give us willpower. Or we can mock grandfather. because we have a good relationship with our sister, and this will get us determination and improve our relationship with Gloria and decrease our relationship with a man we hate. It's all upside, really. This seems like the kind of terrible idea I'd always make. Terrible decision. You don't make an idea, generally. You jump up and try to shield Gloria. Then you start boasting right in his face. Yes, you did eat the sugary treat, and it was very much the opposite of sweet. Good thing Gloria didn't have time to eat hers, or it would have disappointed her too. Gloria catches on in a moment.
Yeah, sugary treats are for fat, noble kids. They're gross to us. We're just commoners.
You continue her train of thought. Why? We simply got curious after Stefan started boasting about it. He told us these treats are so good you can eat them forever, but now your elder brother lied. They're simply unbearable. But then again, what else would you expect from grandfather's darling Stefan? Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you both with his walking stick, blow for blow.
You dare mock me? I will not let this stand. Know your place, you foul, low-born scum.
He keeps hitting you until he grows tired. Then he leaves you where you are, muttering in impotent rage. Soon enough, Mother comes in to find the two of you on the floor, too afraid to move. She shakes her head in disappointment. You're badly hurt and covered in bruises, yet she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts on the lot and how important it is to follow them. Gloria's face is bruised and swollen, but she still gives you a weak smile. Sometimes it is important to make fun of power, even when it will end badly for you in the immediate term. This is just true.
You got him so riled up. Two commoners made an honourable noble feel helpless. Makes all the pain worth it. Isn't that right, brother?
Your entire body hurts from the heavy blows. Deep inside you're ecstatic. You stood up to grandfather today. It is a victory you will remember for the rest of your life. Bold of you to assume, game. I don't remember anything from stream to stream. Distaste. But we are adamant. And like adamant, we will never age nor die. Seriously, the man looks ridiculously good. Father and Mother have been focused on Nathan. Oh, it's the sacrament time. Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you're told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of your sacrament. Oh, he finally gets lines.
Mother, I want to go play in the yard.
Cool, I hate him already.
No playing today. You and Emilio are big boys now. It's time for you both to have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot.
Also, I'm 7. He's less than 7.
I don't want a lot.
Be quiet and listen. You're born commoners, so you must accept a low-born lot before the twins. When you grow up, you get a chance to earn a noble lot.
Father and Mother take you to the carriage. Nathan's hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather is the last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon, the carriage is moving along the streets of Anizot, slowly, solemnly. One more turn, and you see the colossal white building marked by 2 massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you are to enter the Church of the Twin Gods. And you know what? I think that's a thing we'll do after the break. It's been another hour already, somehow. So yeah, I need to run some more ads. Hang around for us to enter the church after this. And, you know, get some water, have a snack, take your meds if you still need to. And yeah, I will be back in about 3 minutes. And a church. Alright, and love you all. See you in a few. And I'm back. Some great oppressive ambience we've got going on. Sorry, yeah. Slight delay, because I just had to return a phone call, and yeah, possibly I'll get one during this. We will see. Love it when you get a miss a call, they leave a message, and you try and call them back, and they don't take it, and you leave a message, and it's truly a productive use of everybody's time. Meanwhile, I'm fighting wheels on a chair. Cool. Should we get back to the game? Let's enter the Church of the Twin Gods. That seems fun. And by fun, I mean not fun. The best kind of fun. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into two halves. They're drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough and jagged and covered in dried brown spots, while the floor on the other is made of smooth marble. The commoners kneel on the jagged floor, and the well-dressed nobles and their families sit on pews. There's respecting and understanding the purpose of suffering in life, and then there's fetishizing it. And my guys, I think you are on the latter half of this line. This is a weird kink for you all, and I'm frankly not here for it. Father and grandfather leave you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wince in pain, for the lowborn estate shall suffer in the house of the faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar, where you and other children will take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest dressed in black, with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes this place. He's scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach roils in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the words of his lot. From this day forth he will fight and rule and pursue the arts, his mind now forever free from the throes of suffering, for he now belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Now, the fact that fight and free from suffering are in the same thing is questionable. Just like, how much do the nobles actually do the fighting themselves, do we think? Because I'm feeling not a lot. Nathan's next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him toward the altar and throws him on the jagged floor on the lowborn side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees as he lands, spraying drops of red around him.
I don't wanna. Emilio, why do they want to whip me? What did I do?
You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world, all by himself. The priest starts reciting the words of the lot as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labour and humble in obedience to thy rulers. Apparently he's from Yorkshire. And now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks, strikes his right shoulder, strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. Thy first true suffering, says you. The priest tells him to rise. He's received his lot. Nathan, this is certainly a lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself toward Mother. His knees torn and bloodied, his spirit broken. I say again, this is just weird fetishizing, guys. Please, just calm down a touch. It's your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. Get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below, so sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down, and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. The priest's words for you now. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work and endure and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy first true suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept thy lot? So, our options, which I think we all know where we're going with this. Accept it. Lose determination, gain perception. Raise your head, because we are determined and we can get more willpower out of it and just stand up. catch the lash like a ninja, gain determination, lose perception, or kiss the sword, defy the right, gain destiny and nobleman's sacrament, couldn't possibly end badly, gain determination, lose perception, lose a bunch of willpower that we'll need to get back by doing something bad, but gain relationship with our grandfather, because we are striving towards personal self-actualization. And it gives us one of the destiny things, so of course we're going to do it. The whip slices through the air, about to strike, but your eyes are transfixed by the blade the priest holds in his other hand. You jump up and away. The lash misses you. You grab the blade with your hands, it cuts into them without mercy. The priest wrenches it away from your bloody fingers, and now we have no fingers. You look him straight in the eye. I am Emilio of House Brante. The priest freezes in shock. You seize this moment to pull the sword closer and kiss the smooth, cold blade. You hear cries of outrage among the churchgoers. Mother prostrates herself on the jagged floor, racked with fear. Father remains still, baffled by what you've just done. But grandfather looks at you intently, as though truly seeing you for the first time. There's a semblance of respect in his gaze. Respect the gaze, it's what I've always said. You're forced back to the commoner's place at the altar. The acolytes seize you by the arms and legs and keep your face bent closely to the bloody, jagged stones of the floor. The lash strikes your right shoulder, then your left shoulder. Then you're told to rise. You are a commoner. Mother takes your hand and leads you outside of out of the church. Once you're outside, she scolds you for being insubordinate and bringing shame to your family. Those both sound like things I would do. Nathan holds your hand as you walk, his tearful face a mixture of confusion and awe as he looks into your eyes. But you do not feel as though you've made a mistake. You did what was right for you. Yeah, we did. We are so adamant, but also inattentive and exhausted. Again, game, you're reading me a bit. We have taken our first sacrament and received the commoner's lot, with an asterisk next to it. We will have every lot, thank you very much. We will have lots. Event has happened! We challenge the sacred order. Sounds like a thing we'd do. What was that tweet? Just rip to everyone whose hubris has led them to challenge the gods. But I'm different. Better than them. Maybe better than the gods, even. Which is my whole thing. 1125, Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. Mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long time to heal. Which one? The lashes or the bit where we grabbed a sword blade? Mother says it's a reminder of your lot. Suffering and sufferance. Pain and patience. Gloria shows you the mark of the lash on her shoulder. One day, it will never disappear. You're a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into, but Father keeps telling you to study hard, so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. You recall the past with warm sadness when Stefan still lived with you, or when he wrote to you for a time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it beneath him to write to the commoners in his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. But most importantly, you missed the time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learned the true power of the lot only after the head of the family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him, or is it the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. Also, can I just point out, 1125 Childhood's End. Weren't we born in 1118? We are 7! You're older now, and what's more, you're an elder brother now. You've learned how to care about somebody else, how to teach and protect. Soon you're a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way to laborious study. Or am I remembering it wrong? Were we born in like 1112? I thought it was 1118. Now your choices will decide your place in the bizarre... I can't say words. In the bizarre and ruthless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. End of Chapter 1. Important life events. Several. Personal qualities. They will convert into adult qualities at the end of Chapter 2. We were adamant yet inattentive. We were adamantly inattentive, which is... that's just me. Our willpower and death count will stay with us, which are respectively -5 and no. We continue. Yeah, no. I was right about when we were born. This is not adolescence, we are 8. I do love having the revolt just doing the Damocles thing at the end of the timeline from the start of the game. Again, this ties into me becoming a massive nerd about 20th century French literature and theatre in college. I do a lot of thinking about the role of inevitability in stories, and I'm a fan. Sometime I want to read again a play that I did a lot of thinking about and general pontificating about in college. La guerre de Troie n'aura pas lieu. The War in Troy will not take place, by Giraudoux, I think. Unless I'm confusing him with some other French writer. Yeah, which is like it's the story of the Trojan War and the lead up to the Trojan War, but very much consciously told from the lens of the present and the knowledge that everybody involved, both in the audience and to an extent the characters, know what's going to happen and that the war is inevitable, but they still rail against it, and does a lot of playing with that motif. Shockingly, there were a lot of things about railing against inevitable war coming out of Europe in the 40s and 50s. Can't imagine why. Cannot imagine why. Anyway, before I disappear any further on myself, let's continue.
I was growing up fast.
I forgot his
The
voice.
school, the streets, and the whole wide world awaited me beyond the gate of my parents' house.
That guy's voice should be like one of the default TikTok voices, just saying. Destiny is flashing at us again, but that's just because we kissed a sword. You've lived in this world for 8 years now. As you grow older, life grows more complex. The world of your childhood was limited to your house and family, but now that realm is expanding. It also includes your neighborhood, the nearby houses, the streets of the ancient city of Anizod. A question now looms over you, growing more pressing with each passing year. What will your place be in this vast outside world? Great question. Few people in the Blessed Archnean Empire trouble themselves with this question. It's not within a man or a woman's power to choose. Their destiny is predetermined by their birth and those who bore them. And yet, your peculiar birth has granted you a choice. Your father is a man of nobility, a worthy example in matters of duty and honour. Your mother is a commoner of lowly estate, humility and patience made flesh. Which... there's a whole feminist point to be made there, about how this kind of ideal commoner is also the idealised mother figure. Symbolism in media presenting women as passively accepting suffering, the concept. And your sky is ablaze day and night with the light of the shining pillar, the beacon of the clergy. Your back bears the mark of the lash. Will you accept the drudgery and suffering that is the lot of the lowborn for your entire life? Or will you follow in the footsteps of your father and your father's father, and fight for the right to serve the Empire as a noble of the mantle? Perhaps you'll follow the Twin Gods' word and offer spiritual guidance to others. That seems less likely. I mean, it seems interesting because religion nerd, but also it seems not really to jibe with all the things I've done so far. The answer lies out there in that vast, terrifying world. What awaits you beyond the walls of your home? Well, yeah, we basically just did that. Events that can happen to the family. Gloria's secret. Oh, events that can happen to the family. I think we're going to have different categories. Gloria's secret. Discover the secret society she's joined. Spoilers, if our ingenuity is high enough. Stefan's disgrace. Find out about your elder brother's forbidden love. Sounds like it might be funny, but also potentially problematic. But if our nobility is high enough. And are these personal things or family qualities? I can't remember if the icon is the same. Blood Tide. You join the Blood Tide of the Brante family. What does that mean? Great question. Next question. Either Nobleman's Sacrament or Gregor likes us. Well, good thing we've got one of those, because we sure don't have the other. And then participate in the ritual. Nathan's admonition. Give our brother a spiritual admonition. I mean, we'll do that for free. Spirituality high enough. Events in our personal life, matters of the heart, experience our first romantic feelings, conditions, meet and girl. Like, that's it. That's all we have to do to instantly fall in love is meet a girl. Any girl. Doesn't matter. Just be exposed to a woman and thus, bam, hormones. Experience a revelation by the sacred silver tree, which we would have needed to have an epiphany in a past chapter, which we didn't, so that's gone forever, because we put this in Iron Man mode because we're not cowards. And Sophia saved. Willpower above 0, rescue Sophia. Save the local girl from lesser death. Cool! Personal qualities are our nobility, our ingenuity, and our spirituality. We are unprincipled, slow, and mundane. Game, do you have to insult me so much? We are still exhausted, but not dead. Sections that own, relations, province, and map of the Empire. So we'll just look at our subscreens quickly before we go on. So our destiny now has these things listed. We haven't had our insight by playing with the ants, and we didn't die as a child. And now we have all these options. Our occupation is still growing up. Here's the house, still much the same. The family, which Nathan is now on. An odd child. He's been secretive and aloof since he was a little boy. He's inept, constantly ill and crying, always in need of care and protection. He started reading sacred texts at a very young age. He sounds so much fun. We have no relations yet. We have met nobody. Also, yeah, just that little throwaway line there. The humans and Archnians you have encountered. We'll learn more about that later. Here's a map of the Empire. Oh god, there's descriptions. Many words. I don't know if I can be bothered to read all the words. Oh, Twist Werewolf in with the 28-month resub. Thank you so much. It is still wild to me that we've even been doing this that long. Let's do a quick rundown. Provinces. Northern provinces, Fiona, Constanta, and Hermia. Stern and inhospitable, barbarian heathens. Great Archnian warriors came to eradicate them. Northern provinces governed by the Emperor's own Tempest dynasty. Sparsely populated. Lots of fishing. Bragos, the Shining Pearl of the North, capital of the province of Fiona. Built by the order of the Emperor's brother, Cornelius Tempest, which is a wrestler name. Attracted many people of the northern provinces who abandoned their meager lands. That meeting was a thing. Second reduction in... Ooh, yeah, fun. Hope you came through it okay? But yeah, that's... I'm hearing a lot of that from a lot of places, so... yeah. You weren't reduced? Excellent. Siltram, personal domain of the Tempest dynasty. most beautiful castle in the Empire. Eterna, capital, built upon the shores of 3 rivers. By the Emperor's order, it has the Imperial College and Military Academy, providing opportunities for commoners to become nobles of the mantle through service and valor, as well as the Divine Seminary. Artnian tradition, architecture, and fashion have always reigned supreme, but the influx of human nobles and wealthy merchants is slowly changing the way of life. Congrats, we're an invasive species. Archnia, the province of Archnia in the Archnian Empire, just in case that was, not confusing enough. Birthplace of the Empire and every Archnian dynasty owned by the Emperor. Makes sense. Most bountiful soil, abounds in ancient castles, green fields, towering forests. Cities and factories virtually non-existent here, because gross human things. And only place teeming with life in the New Age is Eterna. Over here we have Monia, bastion of Archnian aristocracy, protected from the rest of the Empire by sea and mountains, second oldest, noble traditions of yore are the strongest, and the lowly lot is denied all freedoms save those that they absolutely require. The Monroe dynasty conquered it long ago and now reigns supreme. In the city of Montis, capital of Monia, most well-defended citadel in the Empire, pillar of the old Archnian knightly spirit, site of many a great tournament, Archduke Monroe boasts that the walls of Montis will survive any siege. Garcia, seagate of Monia, only safe haven among the province's rocky shores, well fortified, dangerous, doesn't let people in without permission. Over here, the province of Astinia, province of bountiful harvests, main stronghold of the New Faith, where commoners and nobles alike follow the new doctrine. Interesting. Ruled by the old Archnian Diamant dynasty, but only Patriarch Unius Diamant. Junius? I don't know where they're going with this. I mean, Diamant makes me think German, so that's what you're getting. The Archduke's elder brother and leader of the church in the province, wields actual authority. City of Orta. Once a mere outpost of the Empire, built to fight off the heathens, founding place of the Holy Order. And then, when the Empire happened, it grew. Over here, Illyria. Strongest industrial province of the Empire, ruled over by the Orgriff dynasty. Noble landowners lease out their land to commoners to build factories and mines, birthplace of gunpowder and firearms, before the noble estate banned them as weapons of dishonour. Which is fair. Cleonis, capital of Illyria, sprawling industrial city, scientists, inventors, freethinkers, governed by a lesser quorum. Archnian dynasty, don't bother. Kupfer, well-defended fortress, belongs to the Archnian Orgriff dynasty. And down here we have the province of Magra, where we are. Last to join the Empire even. Arid wasteland, ruled by Archduke Melanidas. During Shah Melanidas's rebellion, good name. This land was devastated by foul magic and rendered infertile. Local peasants grow their crops in soil imported from other regions, just in case the metaphor wasn't strong enough for you. But we have silver, iron, and coal in the hills. Cities of Enery. Let's go with Enery. Headquarters of Gaius Tempest, good name. Castle Enery itself belonged to the Melanidas dynasty until Gaius Tempest was appointed the province's overseer. Vast farmland, imported fertile soil, has provisions and independence. Fabrine, original capital of the province before the appearance of the Silver Tree. Common saying, a man from Fabrine and a man from Anizot will never see eye to eye. Tuono, a noble estate with a small village, currently no owner. Wonder if that may change. Formerly owned by the Elmers bloodline before their blood tide ran dry, which is, I guess, a way of saying they all died. According to the ancient tradition, the Archduke of Magra will grant Tuono to the next bloodline to be ennobled by the sword and bloody arts, who knows. Bologna, largest monastery in Magra, founded in commemoration of the unity of the Empire, the second most popular destination for pilgrims after the Silver Tree. Monks are famous for healing. Serpenwerda, castle in the middle of the Magran Waste that serves as the family seat of the Melanidas dynasty, most well-defended fortress in the south. Sulmina, large prosperous village to the east, accrued considerable wealth thanks to silver mines. Many Sulminan commoners have grown rich and joined the new faith. And our home, Anizot, city of birth, capital of Magra, largest and most ancient city in the south, home to the Silver Tree, a sacred landmark grown by the twins when they descended to the immortal realm. The old prophecies say that Anizot is where the end of the world will begin. Cool. Buried the lead much? We've been living here for 8 years and we only just heard that. Also, I like that Sacred landmark grown by the twins. When it was mentioned before, it was mentioned that it was grown from the blood of the twins' disciples. Which makes it really sound like the twins descended to the mortal realm, started a cult, then slaughtered them all to make a tree. And from the general vibe of this game thus far, feeling like that might be the case. And we also have the state of the province. Overseer is Archduke Melanidas, known for being obstinate and despotic, notorious even among the Archaeans. Patriarch Photis, founder of the New Faith, first to defy the lots. I approve of this. Encourage people to find the twin gods within, and says that everyone's equal in the twins' eyes. Power is -4, church is -4. Right, so power, as it shifts towards positives, it's the commoners in power. 5 is Reign of Terror, which is a judgy way of looking at revolutions, but fair. Church is between Old Faith and New Faith. Wealth doesn't have a minus, and Order also doesn't have a minus. Triumph of the Law, well that doesn't sound fashy at all. Okay, cool. I mean, yes, it's an empire, of course it's fascist, that's kind of how they work. And those don't unlock until chapters 4 and 5. So this is what we've got for now. Okay, those were a lot of words. Should we go back to the actual story? And the boy down the street. The family expects more and more of you as you grow up. Like, that sounds weird, because it's like, what, they're expecting me to do more? Or are they expecting there to just be more of me? Just, as you grow up, the family expects you to multiply. The teachers and tutors hired by your father keep you on your toes all the time. Your life these days is dedicated to studying for your future, for the future of the Brante family. Your younger brother Nathan keeps growing up too. You can hold a conversation now. You never refuse him when he comes to play, provided you have a bit of free time between your demanding lessons. It's a rainy day today, and rain spots on the book. This is a nice touch. Father and mother have gone to a ball, and they left Nathan in your care. You lose track of time over the books in the sitting room, and Nathan goes off alone to splash in the creek. At least that's what he keeps calling it. It's a bit weird. Soon you hear his voice begging you to come outside. He's on the porch, sobbing, all covered in dirt. You walk up to him as he continues to bawl. We've all gone to a ball.
It's all that kid. He pushed me into the ditch and called me names. Said I was a fancy pants fool. I said I'll call my brother. He's still there. You have to go punish him, Emilio.
Nathan points to a lopsided wooden house further down the street where the poorer artisans live. You see 2 boys lingering there on the porch. They're clearly both commoners, but far from poor. One of them's almost as tall as Nathan, and he frowns in a funny way just like him. The other looks older, almost your age. He's more broad-shouldered and taller. His name's Thomas. You've heard it before.
There, Emilio, that's him.
Nathan points at the younger boy and hides behind your back. Thomas grins and rolls up his sleeves to reveal strong forearms. He must have been helping his father with manual labour for quite some time. Well, we know how to stab people, so you know. Thomas Guerra. Listen up, rich boys. We don't give a damn about you or your friendship. We don't let nobody call our home a stinking rat hole. Your little brother earned his ditch dive. Maybe next time he'll dress normal and stop picking fights from people who can throw him in the mud. Your hands clench into fist before you react. Nathan called them names first. No wonder they did the same. That's how it goes, but pushing your brother into a ditch is too much. Thomas stands tall and confident. He sees no threat in you. You're about to get ready for a fight when you feel a tug on your sleeve. You turn your head to see Nathan, the one who started the whole mess. So we can beat this child up, which will increase our nobility and increase our relationship with him, which just seems like upside. We can say our brother is to blame, which will increase our ingenuity and also increase our relationship with this kid. We can resolve the matter peacefully, which will increase our spirituality and increase our relationship with Thomas. Or we can listen to our brother, except we can't because he doesn't like us enough. which would increase our willpower and family unity and our relationship with Thomas. Well, that ship sailed. So do we want spirituality, ingenuity, or nobility? What were the unlocks for each of these? It's like, spirituality was Nathan's admonition. I could admonish my brother anytime I like. Stefan's disgrace or Gloria's secret. Discover the secret society. Find out about your elder brother's forbidden love. I mean, that sounds fun. And we did... Like, we came out of childhood with a ton of determination and an education in fighting, so I think this is the thing to do. It feels very kind of 8-year-old boys bets on if our elder brother's hidden love is Gloria. Oh, it's a cursed thought, but quite possible. Yeah, it feels very appropriate for 8-year-old boys that literally any interaction in this scenario will increase our relationship with him. Because, frankly, children bond by proximity as much as anything else. The bold-faced bully is taller and clearly stronger. Nobody talks to you like that. You leap at Thomas and start tearing into him. He jumps backwards, surprised by your assault. Takes him a moment to compose himself, but now he's ready. His fists cover the face and he attacks you with a quick jab. It's now your turn to take a step backward. You start trading blows, huffing and puffing with rage. The younger brothers gawk in awe at the sight. We are pretty awesome, it's true. Thomas does not resort to fancy moves, dirty tricks, or stupid taunts. He displays nothing but skill, earned in many a street fight, and his heavy fists aim for your head. You keep dodging him again and again, trying to reach him. He takes a couple of glancing blows, but easily shakes them off. What a bruiser. You start swinging your fists with greater and greater fury. Your heart is pounding like a hammer, as is my CPU. What is going on? Really? We almost got to the end of a stream, computer. Thank you, we're back now. Your heart's pounding like a hammer. You see nothing but the foe in front of you. How much longer will this take? You're worn out. Your breath grows ragged and your muscles grow heavy. But there's no way you can give up now. Nathan's watching you. Desperate and out of options, you swing and punch Thomas square in the nose. Then immediately let his fist smack you in the temple. The blow rings through your head like a bell and blinds you for a moment. The world swims before your eyes. You clutch at your head to get your bearings. Thomas is standing in front of you, blood dripping from his nose. You no longer want to fight it out, and it seems your opponent would rather end it too. But you keep standing there, eyeing each other angrily. Then, suddenly you hear an angry shout right next to you. An enraged man in a craftsman's apron is shaking his fist. Thomas's face contorts in terror right away. It's my father! Run! Punishment for fighting is flogging, and the mere prospect of that makes you run like the wind. Thomas sprints in front of you. I mean, they know where you live. You dash across the rotten wooden planks of the back alley, up and over a lopsided fence, across a giant puddle in one leap, and then forward into the tall grass. You hide there and stay quiet. You hear no sounds of pursuit. You exchange glances with Thomas and start laughing. His laughter is loud and infectious, but soon he cuts it short and grows sadder. I'll get flogged anyways. My dad's always quick to give me a beating. And then start nagging me about the lots and the prayers for days like he always does. Why do I always get myself mixed up in this stuff? But fighting's the only way to prove you're worth anything, right? That's a take. The adults didn't see you fighting, you tell him, so all you have to do now is convince them you weren't. Nosebleeds happen, right? Mother gets nosebleeds all the time. Oh no, is she turning into a traditional literary sick woman? Well, we could try it. Let's hope our little brothers don't tell on us. I'll talk to mine. There's a scratch on your head, don't let them see it. Good thing I didn't hit you in the face. There, good as new. You assure him that Nathan will never tell, and in return you make sure he behaves himself so he won't get tossed into a ditch again. We're a protagonist our mother can't survive childhood. Yeah, that's fair. With that, you shake hands with Thomas. His handshake is as strong as you would expect based on his fists. You make your way out of the tall grass. You need to leave before Thomas's father goes to your family and complains about you breaking your lot. I didn't know we suffered. You come to a realization on the way back. You had no idea the place where you were hiding even existed. It wasn't too far from home. Thomas smiles in excitement when he hears this. Oh, I know lots of places like that. I'll tell you what, if we get out of this mess today, I'll show you the way to the old wall. It's the perfect place to build forts. I dragged a bunch of wooden planks there. Too bad it's no fun to build all alone. My brother never helps, he just gets in the way. You emerge from the muddy back alleys, united by a secret only the two of you know. It seems you've made a friend today. There you go. Moral of this story, if you want to make friends, all you need to do is punch them in the face. We are unprincipled still. We've made a friend, a boy named Thomas. And that was all that happened that year. Riders on the road. It's blistering hot today, even for the sun-parched land of Magra. As soon as you're done with your studies, you dash outdoors and out of the stuffy room. You and Thomas roll up your shirt sleeves, but it barely helps. You would gladly go shirtless had you only been in the company of other boys, but there are 3 girls in the yard today. They're doing the laundry in a big wash tub, whispering and giggling. If you could, you would gladly keep watching one of them at work. Is that a thing? Like, boys not taking off their shirts because there are girls around? I don't remember that ever being an issue in my childhood, let me tell you. She has big eyes of deep blue. Her dark hair is braided and her plain grey dress is mended and patched all over. Her name's Sophia. Remember the boys who were chubby wouldn't? That's fair. She throws her head back a little when she laughs. The rays of the sun are reflected in her eyes. That comes down to insecurities plus bullying. Yeah, this is sadly very much a thing. You, Thomas, and the other boys keep telling silly stories. Anything to make her laugh. How the hell does she sound? You sure love telling tall tales, Emilio. Oh, I remember this one time. No, that's turning into Gloria's voice. And then Sophia hears a voice calling her home. She nods to you and runs across the street, smiling. Her light steps carry her forward, but her eyes are looking elsewhere. But then a stone on the road catches her foot. She stumbles and falls flat into the dust. The street starts shaking from the thundering of hooves. Riders appear on the road from around the corner. They bear a coat of arms you recognise right away. A sable serpent blade upon a field of burt. It symbolises the Melanidas dynasty, the family of your province's archduke. The horses dash forward. A lost wooden toy on the road cracks under their hooves. They'll not slow down, they are the nobles, and the rest must make way for them. Sophia is in their way, just now starting to get back on her feet. Her mother is crying for her desperately from behind the fence door. You freeze in terror. The riders surely see the girl. Are they going to stop, or are they going to trample her? In only a few moments, the beautiful girl will be toppled, trampled, and crushed. Welp! We don't have any willpower. Wow, that would give us every stat. It would also kill us. All the things that kill us seem to give you a fairly hefty stat booster to outweigh it. Sophia dies. Okay. Well, we said we weren't cowards, so continue. As we established at the outset, we're not cowards, but this is all our fault. You stand frozen by the roadside, unable to look away as the cloud of dust covers the entire street. You feel as if a massive, maddened beast whipped into a merciless frenzy has just passed you by. You hear no screams, no cracking bones, nothing but the deafening din of the hooves. Once the horses are gone and the dust settles, you can finally see the road again, and the repulsive blob of blood, flesh, and bone left on it. You can still see traces of Sophia in that mess, her dark hair, the remains of her dress, but it's no longer her. Wow, yeah, this has got a lot. Sophia's earthly remains slowly dissipate and melt into the air. Her mother's eyes are filled with grief as she watches. She hunches over and slowly walks back into the house. You can still hear the riders far away down the road. None of them even bother to look back. Your friends walk away, at a loss for words. You make your way home, dazed by what you've seen. You're still dazed as you retell these events to Mother, unable to look up from the floor. After a moment of silence, she embraces you, calms you down.
Poor girl. It's a terrible, painful death. But you must know that it was not her true death. By the twins' mercy, we are all given enough time in this world. Should you die before your time, you will be brought back by their grace. For 3 times they will rescue you from a terrible fate, but the 4th death is true and final for all. Every loss of a life we were granted at our birth is a heavy blow to us, but the gods told us not to mourn a lesser death. Everybody will keep on living as though nothing has happened, even Sophia's parents. Their family is poor, and they have no family crypt like we do. When the girl's soul comes back to life, her body will be reborn in the city church with all her wounds healed. Do not mourn her, my son, but thank the twin gods for their justice.
You see Sophia by her house a few days later, and she looks completely fine without so much as a scratch. The other children tell you that her parents now forbid her to leave the yard after dying such an early first death. You call out Sophia's name. She looks at you briefly, then walks back inside. Sophia never talks to you again. Okay, cool. Well, good thing I couldn't work out a voice for her. Meet girl. Immediately watch girl get trampled to death by horses. Well, guess that taught me a lesson. 11:28. Fall. Soil and gunpowder. Sophia disappeared after the terrible incident with the horses. Her friends gossip that her parents sent her off to serve a rich, noble dynasty. You haven't seen each other since that day, but you still remember Sophia's eyes, the sunlight shining in them. But, no matter what, life goes on. You're 10 years old now. Your studies continue and you're learning more about the land you live in. Anazot is an ancient city in an imperial province by the name of Magra. All soil in Magra was turned to ash eons ago, scorched by magic during the rebellion of Duke Sharmalanidas. The magical arts are all but gone now, but the scorched earth has remained barren and infertile ever since. Since then, the entire province has lain barren, tormented by cold and scorching winds in equal measure, with few precious plants taking root on their own. All fertile land in Magra is bought elsewhere and brought here by an endless caravan of carts and carriages. To pay for food and soil, the cities of Magra become skilled in many trades, primarily mining and digging for metals and stone. That's what mining is. Mining, digging for metals and stone, same thing. Last fall, there was an explosion just outside the city, followed by clouds of thick smoke. The first such incident frightened the citizens, but then explosions and smoke became an everyday occurrence. Soon, everyone grew used to it. Just imagine people quickly getting used to things that initially provoke public panic. Can't imagine. Father explains that the miners are using a new invention called gunpowder. It makes it easier for them to reach the precious stones and metals buried deep within the earth. Blast mining, it's great and profitable and has no negative effects. Then one day a thunderous explosion rocks the city and black billowing smoke covers the houses. Oh no, bad effects. People are stuck in their homes, all windows tightly shut. The air is impossible to breathe. Nathan coughs all the time. Gloria and you cough only when nobody's watching. If Mother hears it, she'll make you inhale those hot herbal vapors just like Nathan. God, how dare our mum try and give us medicine? It takes 2 days for the black smoke to disperse. People pour out onto the streets to meet their friends. Thomas is eager to share everything he knows about this incident with you. They took lots of burnt up people to the city temple. Mum told me she was helping the healers. There are many rumours. Some claim it was the work of a beast stirred from its slumber, while others say it's the surviving witches that continue to threaten the Order and the Empire with their accursed powers. But as for you, you patiently wait for Father to come back home and then you'll ask him about it. Father spends day and night working at the prefecture, while Mother spends all her time in prayer. I'm gonna guess that comment of mood, Mother, is less about spending all her time in prayer and probably referring to something else, because that does not seem like your jam. It takes a full week for Father to finally come home, and he's almost completely spent. You muster enough courage during dinner to ask him what happened outside the city. Oh, you think the sleep thing? Yeah, that makes more sense. Father raises his head, his face a bleak, weary mask, and starts muttering his proclamation. It's almost as if he doesn't see you.
It's the mine outside the city. They were trying to get to a vein of ore. There was an explosion. The mine caved in and the black smoke started flowing. Many workers died there. It was all because Count El Velasco, who owns the mines, wanted them to start mining that vein before they were ready.
This is the plot of Poldark. This is just... I've been bamboozled into making a new season of Poldark. It's not even in colour. What happens if you make it to old age without using the first 3 of your 4 deaths? I don't know. I know only slightly more than you people do.
Some of the workers weren't even reborn. Perhaps the twins thought their final time had come.
Well, that implies, there you go, if you die of old age, you just kind of... The twins have decided that you would die.
Prefecture has been inundated with complaints from families that have lost their breadwinners, asking the judges for help. Many people also lost their cattle to the black smoke.
Modern medicine will really mess with the Twin Gods' whole lesser death system. Well, I mean... Bold of you to think that this society will get to modern medicine, and, you know, still be under that system. I don't know, it seems like not the kind of system that encourages scientific advancement.
Count Velasco blames gunpowder for the disaster. Prefecture and the newspapers just repeat whatever he says. It's plain old greed and tyranny of noblemen that are to blame. Why is the welfare of our province always paid for with commoner lives?
Thinking about grandfather and this rebirth system really does put the kibosh on murder. Yeah. Well, you know, there's that, at least, I guess. Then, without warning, he grows silent again. You keep thinking about it for days. Can a human life really end so easily? A single moment of bad luck and you die, only to re-emerge from the temple or the family crypt with a new black mark on your arm. Or worse, you remain where you fell, dead, never to be reborn again. Ever. Well, we're 10 and we've learned about mortality. Weirdly, not from the bit where we saw a girl trampled to death. Order of the province goes down, wealth of the province goes up. That's generally how that works. Stefan's arrival. Oh god, he's back. During lunch, Father tells you to stay home in the evening and prepare to meet some important guests. Your elder brother Stefan will return home by dinner tonight. Joining him will be your grandfather, Emilio Brante, as well as a noble friend of the family. You're excited about your brother's return. It's been years since you last saw him. How has he changed during his years away from home? Why are we excited about his return? He sucked! You and Father await the guests anxiously. The doorbell rings. 3 people are standing outside. Grandfather is the first to come in, naturally. He's not changed a bit since his last visit, still eyeing the house with contempt, still looking for any reason to demean it. Grandfather is followed by a stately young man dressed in a jacket embroidered in silver, whom you barely recognizes your brother. Stefan casts a glance at your threadbare clothes, your dirty fingernails, and smirks. The last to enter the house is a personable gentleman with a worn-out, wrinkled face. You've heard a lot about this man from father and grandfather. He's Baron Augustin Elborn, Stefan's uncle, a family friend and the province's prefect, which means that he is the head judge and thus father's superior. Sir Elborn smiles lightly and offers you his hand.
And this must be your younger son Emilio, yes? You have your father's eyes, young man.
Father bows slightly to grandfather and Sir Elborn. There's a moment of quiet when Stefan's turn comes. Father reaches out to him awkwardly, expecting an embrace. There's a question in Stefan's eyes as he looks at grandfather. The old man shakes his head, almost imperceptibly. We noblemen oughtn't put our emotions on public display, father, not even after a lengthy separation. There is no embrace. Instead, Stefan nods to father curtly. He responds in kind, his face devoid of emotion. After the greeting, you proceed to the sitting room. Elborn is the first to enter. He kisses mother's hand, and Gloria's too, and tussles... That's the wrong word. And tousles Nathan's hair after he sees him hiding by the table. Grandfather acknowledges them with a glum nod.
Greetings, Lydia Brante. I remember you were kind to me when I was but a child. You must be Nathan. You could barely walk when I saw you last.
Your elder brother ignores Gloria completely. Not even a greeting. You proceed to the dining room in a dignified manner and take your seats. The dishes smell delicious. Delicious. But they merely punctuate the overwhelming tension at the table. Elborn is the only one with a friendly smile on his face because when you're rich enough, you're allowed to not care.
Dinner is splendid, Lydia. Did you choose the dishes yourself? You have a truly refined palate. Warms my heart to know Stefan spent his early years with you. Womanly care always does a child good, no matter the estate.
Don't matter about the class, just woman. Which does kind of imply the corollary of all women are the same. Your fork freezes in the air halfway to your mouth. You expect many things from a noble of the sword, but words of praise for a low-born woman are not one of them. You cast a glance at grandfather. He looks like he's about to choke on those words.
It would do my grandson more good to stay at boarding school among his equals.
Please, Gregor, parenting is no less important. Nothing can replace a mother's love. I cannot deny it. It saddens me greatly that my late sister could not be there to raise Stefan. But there was still a family for him, and he was surrounded by love. How could that be bad? And besides, his father was by his side all the while. A father's example is always the best. After all, Robert earned the judge's rank the same way you did. Your grandson will surely follow in your footsteps. And who knows, perhaps even the younger men of the Brante family will contribute to the...
You clumsy low-born cretin!
Everybody's startled by this sudden outburst. Grandfather's face turns red. He's glaring at a young lady servant holding a pitcher over a glass. Stefan is sitting right next to her, dabbing a napkin on a fresh stain on his jacket.
Be gone this instant!
The lady servant runs away, leaving the pitcher on a small table by the door. After a quiet moment, Elborn smiles again.
It appears the servants have left us, yet dinner is far from over.
Worry not, uncle. There are enough commoners at this table to keep us served with food and drink.
Stefan glares at Gloria across the table. She's sitting right next to you. She shrinks down and hunches over under his gaze. Father furrows his brows. Mother covers her mouth with trembling hands. Grandfather sneers. Stefan's gaze does not move. The silence lasts far too long. Then she starts to rise from her chair.
If the Brante gentleman so wishes.
Your hands clench into fists under the table. How could he bring himself to humiliate his own family, his own mother and sister like this? It's all grandfather's doing. Stefan could not even bring himself to embrace father without his permission. yet they are noblemen, and they have the right to act this way. If there is any way this dinner can become even more unbearable, you do not want to see it. What are our options? Luckily, all our options are open. Insult brother, get ingenuity, and improve our relationship with Gloria, and have bad blood with Stefan. Ignore, just ignore everything, gain nobility and relationships with our grandfather for keeping the status quo, or gain willpower and relationship with Gloria by helping. I mean, we need the willpower, and this is not too awful a thing to do to get it, so yeah. You deliberate for a moment, then take the napkin off your lap and rise to join Gloria. A moment later, you hear the sound of another chair moving. Your mother joins you. I'm Spartacus. Oh god, is that the time already? 1 second. Audio will cut out for a moment. Because this is all on one PC that doesn't like keeping multiple things in focus. Yeah, let's see if we can just play to the end of this storylet, and unless I get a phone call back. This is, for just a me reading stream, this has gone really quickly. The three of you now refill glasses, serve food, and clear away dirty dishes. Sir Elborn tries to make small talk with father, but in vain, so he focuses his attention on grandfather and Stefan. Grandfather is pleased to inform him of Stefan's accomplishment. That's not what it says, achievements at the boarding school, especially his exemplary sword-fighting skills. He constantly stresses the importance of your elder brother for the future of the family. You listen to him dispassionately as you continue serving new dishes to the table. As you wait at the nobleman's table, you, your sister, and mother never bump into each other. Your labour is impeccable. Grandfather could not have found fault with it even if he tried. Your shoulders and back are aching, but being a manservant inside your own house hurts even more. When the guests finally leave, Mother and Gloria embrace you with relief. You did not neglect your relatives and shared their humiliation, and the composure that you've shown gave you new strength. Relation with Gloria goes up, willpower goes up, we're ready for action! You know what wasn't ready for action? My CPU! But as I say, saved automatically because it's 2023, so really, why wouldn't you? Yeah, that is going to do it for today. That is our 3 hours of suffering complete. Yeah. Time for me to do a little wrap-up. Thanks so much to everyone who's watched. Thanks if you stayed to the end, it means a lot. If you've been watching this, you know how to find me, but just in case, this is twitch.tv/Serasent, that's SEIASENT, the House of Hubris. Streaming here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 2 PM British time, that is 9 AM Eastern, 6 Pacific, other time zones very much available. But you will have to do your own maths. I can't fulfill your every need, honestly. I'm a stranger on the internet. Yeah, if you want to know when we are ready... Ready? That's not the word. Well, that's no comment on me. If you want to know when I am around and you don't want to do the maths, then throw us a follow. Gets you notified whenever I'm live. If you do miss it, VODs are on Twitch for 8 weeks after the fact. For everything else, you can go to the YouTube. Link is down there. Says either YouTube or Video Archive. I can't remember. I haven't looked. You'd think I might have looked, but I haven't, and frankly, I'm probably not going to. Or you could go to youtube.com/@HouseOfHubris, where you can find VODs going back all the way to the start of the channel. That's, as I've just been reminded by some of these resub numbers, like 2.5 years now, which is wild. Actually, yeah, it will have been 2.5 years as of, like, 4 days ago. Wow. Completely derailed myself. Yeah, while you're on the YouTube, why not throw us a subscription? Doesn't cost you anything and gets you hot, fresh VODs in your subscription feed every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And now, as a special bonus, I'm not lying to you in this particular case. They are, once again, being edited and uploaded. I'm sorry there's been such a hiatus with YouTube, but it's helped build a little bit of a backlog so that if and when things happen in Life TM, and they will, we shouldn't run into so much of a problem. I mean, we probably still will, but we'll see. So yeah, as of tonight, those will start going up on the YouTube again, so why not get in with that subscription so you can see the new stuff as it comes out, especially if you didn't see it the first time, because it's not on Twitch anymore, and, you know, we've been away for a bit. Because once again, Life TM. If you want to support me with my Life TM and indeed Suffering TM monetarily, you can, of course, subscribe or cheer on Twitch, but you very much don't need to. Just turn up and hang out and be chill and be good to each other, and then everybody's having a good time. If you want to find me where else on the internet, for my sins, the best place to look is still Twitter, because inertia, I guess. Link is down there. Again, it says Twitter. That one, I do know what that says. I'm pretty sure what that says. Anyway, it's Twitter at House of Hubris, where you can find me saying words, posting selfies, doing memes, doing stream notifications, not shouting about Eurovision anymore, which is saddening, but, you know, I say that, I can still shout about it. We've all got opinions on it now, and you should just consider that I am, in spirit, wearing a neon green bolero in solidarity. Yeah. I do Twitter things on it. It's a Twitter. But I think that's it. Yeah. Cool. So, I will see you again on Thursday. Yes. It is Tuesday today. Yes. Why am I forgetting what day it is? Because I do this all the time. Who am I kidding? Yeah. See you all again on Thursday, when I will technically be a year older. That's exciting. Cool. Love you all. Time has no meaning. Yeah, big mood. Yeah, love you all. We will return for more Suffering on Thursday, and I will hope to see you all then. Alright, bye.